Hell yeah, dude.
Tenfour.
Um,
Sweet.
yeah, how you doing? How's your night going?
Pretty good. Just been home all day watching The Boy. So now I'm just hanging out with you guys on the internet.
The interesting world we live in, man. From the Mets to this.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, my friend's doing a radio show. So I was like listening to that and just checking the Mets game and then just hanging out waiting for you guys.
Oh, sweet,
Hell
dude.
yeah.
What kind of radio does he do?
He does a radio show in town on like a local station, but the show tonight is like it's like a UK based radio station that is doing like it's a reggae show and
Sweet.
they have it's called Roots Locker and there's like a UK one where they highlight like reggae selectors in the UK, but then they started doing this one called Roots Locker West, which is like the Americas, like North America, Central America, South America. So he's doing the Roots Locker West show tonight, which is like every Tuesday at 7 p.m.
Oh, sweet.
So
You ever
yeah.
play it?
Yeah, I've done it a couple times.
That's sweet.
Yeah, it's always a good time. There's like a Facebook chat that goes along with it, so everybody's just like talking about music and stuff.
That's
Yeah.
fucking
Cool
sweet.
community. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a cool little community of music nerds.
How
Yeah.
long have you been DJing?
Um, I started DJing like 2016, 2017, something like that. But I've been collecting records since I was like 14 or 15. Because
Yeah.
like I started going to shows and stuff when I was like 13, just like all the time, dude. Like that was like before like scootering was like the major like thing that I did in my life. Like before anybody was really like famous, like I would just go to shows all the time and like I was super involved in the music scene back home. So it's
Hell
just
yeah,
like
man.
yeah, music's always just been like a major force in my life.
That's
Did you ever
awesome.
listen to Jungle? I feel like if you
Yeah,
like
dude,
reggae,
Jungle's fucking
yeah,
sick, dude.
bro.
I don't know a lot about Jungle. Like I haven't done too much research about it, but I love
Yeah.
it. It's like it's so cool and like spastic and just like totally unhinged drum and bass. It's sick,
Yeah.
dude.
Yeah,
And
100%.
a lot of like the samples and shit come from reggae that they used. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. Wicked,
Jungle has
wicked.
my approval. Yeah,
Jungle is
exactly.
massive.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We
yeah,
just
Jungle's
caught
sick.
we had just went to a Revolution and the Expandables last week, honestly.
Oh, nice.
Pretty sweet show.
Yeah, I always like meeting other people in the scooter community that like reggae music because I feel like and ska music because like I was a huge ska nerd when I was younger. Like I just went to like third wave ska shows all the time, and then like as I got older, I sort of like gradually shifted to more like reggae stuff, but
Yeah.
not really like roots reggae stuff, like all the foundation stuff. Like I still love ska
Yeah.
and like rocksteady and like early reggae. I'm not really into like Cali roots stuff
Yeah.
and like those bands are okay. They're just like not really my thing. But yeah, I always appreciate meeting other scooter riders that are into reggae music.
Hell
So
yeah.
what's ska? I don't even, what's the
So
difference?
Scott was so in the it's like a form of Caribbean music that sort of came about when Jamaica gained independence from Britain in 1962. A lot of like there was only like one radio station in Jamaica in like the
Okay.
50s and like they would just play like jazz and like pop music and stuff of the time, but a lot of people started like importing R&B, like early R&B records and like blues records and stuff from America, from like Louisiana and shit. So
Oh, so it
there
like
was a
affected their style, I'm assuming. Like wow,
yeah. So
they're splitting off from
ska was kind of born out of like a combination of like jazz and mento and calypso, which were mento's like strictly Jamaican style of music that predates ska, and it kind of sounds like calypso, but it's a little more stripped down. So like uh, people started like local producers started like recording calypso artists and stuff in Jamaica, and that was like the late 50s, I think. And then ska sort of was born out of like the love for like American R&B and like boogie woogie blues shuffle
Okay.
combined with like mento and calypso. And then Jamaica gained independence from Britain in 1962, and ska sort of like solidified and like formulated as like the sound of Jamaican independence. And
That's
yeah,
so
Shit.
fucking sweet. And
so
like, dude, so you're saying that they had like one radio station to listen to, and
yeah, but
they just got directly influenced by like this little like selective group of music that got imported in this one station, and that
yeah,
I don't know, that's
because a lot.
crazy.
So before
That's fucking wild.
FM radio, like there was like broadband radio, like long range and short range, and like ham radio and stuff,
Mhm.
which
Yeah.
is like it's complicated, but like the Jamaica's not that far from like the south of North America, like Louisiana, Florida, and shit like that. So like a lot of like the radio, like the the people who lived on like the north side of Jamaica could get radio waves from Louisiana and like everything on like the northern coast of the
Oh,
Caribbean Sea.
that's so
So they would
fucking
hear all these
awesome.
like American R&B records
Yeah.
like Fats Domino and like all that kind of shit. And then
I'm
like
happy it was from the swamp too. Like out of all
yeah,
places, Louisiana is what was
Yeah.
able to
yeah,
get through.
all the like boogie woogie Delta blues stuff like made its way over the sea to Jamaica. And like so like sound system was born in Jamaica. Like they used to just build massive speakers and amplifiers and play these records that they would get from America for like the whole town to hear it. Like you could hear these sound systems from like miles and miles away. So like because of that, like these people that ran the sound systems started recording musicians, like local
Yeah.
musicians in Jamaica, and that's kind of how like the Jamaican recording industry was born. And like so that's how ska kind of formed. Like Jamaica wanted its own sound, its own identity in music. So these producers like Cox and Dodd and Duke Reed and Justin Yap,
Okay.
Herman Chin, like they started producing Jamaican musicians, and it sort of like solidified into the sound of ska.
Yeah. That's fucking
And that
sick. Dude, I've never
that
heard of any of this either. So it's like I'm intrigued to do my research now that I know. I don't
so
know. It was
yeah,
Ska.
like the birth of their independence, and they're just
yeah.
blaring stereo systems that they're
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
picking up
dude.
frequencies from Louisiana.
It's
But
fucking
yeah.
awesome, man. But yeah, ska predates reggae. So ska,
Okay.
it was
Okay.
ska, and then rock steady, which is like slower, more like soulful sounds, like more like Motown influenced, and then reggae came after rock steady. So that's how reggae was born.
A little history lesson for y'all.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. Scooter riders go tap into some ska.
yeah, man.
I'm going
great
to for
music.
sure.
Episode
26.
26. Hep Greg.
Thanks
Fucking
for having me on.
so happy to have you.
Yeah. Yeah, man. Thanks for coming for sure. Um, we definitely, I got some stuff I'm excited to like ask you about and talk to you about, like just get some details, honestly.
Yeah, for sure.
Would be sweet. But we could just definitely start off with just like how you got into scootering. I know you kind of like, did you skateboard before you scootered a little bit?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's what I thought.
I was on a skateboard like pretty much my whole life, like even before I could walk. Because I have like I have sort of like a god family, like extended family, but not like by blood. And
Okay, yeah.
they so my godmother and godfather have four sons, and their youngest son is 10 years older than me. So like when I
Wow.
was 4, he was 14. And this was
Yeah.
like in I was 4 in 1993. So that was like when street skateboarding was like hitting hard.
Yeah.
So like he skateboarded and shit. So like before I could really even walk, like I was like sitting on my knees on a skateboard and like pushing with my hands, you know, just like around their driveway and shit. And then I just like I always skateboarded after that. Like ever since I could stand, I was riding a skateboard, and I still skateboard. Like it's always going to be a thing in my life, like for transportation, for fun, for whatever. But yeah, so I skateboarded. I have skateboarded my whole life, and like scootering came around in 2000, 2001, and I was in, let's see, I was in seventh grade in 2001, if I remember
Hell
correctly.
yeah, I started in seventh grade too. I'm not a true OG, but we're both seventh grade brethren.
Yeah, yeah.
Middle school,
So
baby.
I went I went to this like sleepaway camp when I was younger, and in the summer of 2000, somebody had a razor there, and there was like this big red barn where they kept like bikes and like various sports equipment and shit at the camp. And there was a scooter there one day, and I saw it, and like I just always I had the mind of a skateboarder, you know. So I saw it, and I was like, I bet I could do tricks on this fucking thing. So
Yeah.
I did like a feeble grind on like a square log or something, and I was like, dude, when I get home, I fucking need one of these. And I got home at the end of that summer, and like that was like the razor craze. Like Sharper Image was selling razors, everybody was selling razors, everybody had them. So my parents had bought me and my sister razors at the end of that summer when I got home from camp, and I was just like, all right, it's fucking go time. This thing's sick.
Yeah.
I'm gonna learn how to do whatever on this. But it was like at that point, it wasn't like, oh, I'm gonna learn how to do a tail whip. I'm gonna learn how to do a bar spin. It was just like, this is a thing. No, I don't know if anybody
Like does
does
it.
tricks on
Yeah.
these. You know, it wasn't like there was no reference, you know, for like learning tricks. Like my only references were skateboarding and BMX and rollerblading.
Yeah.
So it was kind of
Damn.
just like, how do I translate the things that I already know how to do on those things to this new wheeled device? And
Yeah.
that's like the start of my scootering story
Dude,
in
how
like
long did it take you to
2003
tail whip?
years.
Woo!
That's
Yeah.
so cool,
Damn. I mean, you're
honestly.
not, that's fucking awesome. But yeah, you're not watching anybody else do it. So it's not
Yeah,
like you know it's
exactly.
possible.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was nobody to be like,
Yeah.
oh, you gotta use your wrists a little more, or like you gotta kick it a little harder, or you gotta do this, you
Yeah.
gotta do that. Like there was no one.
You
It
gotta
was
like
all my
channel your inner Rodney
underdeveloped
Mullen.
brain. Yeah. It was just my stupid 10-year-old kid brain. Like, how do I do this? I gotta figure it out.
Hell yeah, man.
That's so cool. I think that's the vast difference between riding nowadays versus back then was all the inspiration did come from other action sports versus now all these younger fools are mainly only getting inspiration from scooter riders.
Yeah, exactly. It's like back then you like now you can get on a scooter and like spend a month on the internet and then go out and learn how to do a full whip, you know? But like
Yeah.
back then it
Bri
was
flip.
like, yeah, nobody even like could conceive any of the shit that's happening now. And it was like that for a long time in scootering. Like even till like 2006, 7, 8, like some of the like we would just stand around like waiting for the subway and shit, like doing all this crazy like flippy whippy do shit and be like, wouldn't it be crazy if somebody could actually do this one day? Nah, nobody's ever gonna do that, man. Nobody's ever gonna do that. And now, like every day, you just see the craziest fucking shit being thrown
Yeah.
down, like in the street, in the park, whatever. Like it's all absolutely like next level shit happening now. It's insane.
Yeah, dude, it
Yeah.
really did fucking explode. I can't, oh, that's so dope though, being the like beginning and then knowing that whoever you like your era and the people that started that, it's like you had to go slow so all these motherfuckers could fly. And like now I don't know, they've
Yeah,
unlocked
it's
that. They
crazy,
know what
dude.
they
That
can do.
like I used to be like one of the dudes that people looked at and been like, damn, this dude's sick. But now it's like there's fucking 10-year-old kids who are way better than I could have ever hoped to be, you know?
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
like
yeah.
it's just fucking crazy. But it all comes down to like the places that I drew influence and inspiration from, as opposed to like where these kids are looking, you know, and like the just the vast amount of media and like material that they can draw inspiration from now is like exponentially greater than anything that we had growing up trying to like pave the way for these kids now. It's fucking
Yeah.
insane.
Yeah. Man, how does
Yeah,
it feel
it's
watching it from the
crazy.
back end, being that like you
I
don't get to grow up in that sense? Like you just watched it happen.
I mean, it's still cool, man. Like I love it. Like I still watch like everything in scootering. Like I watch all the like fees highlights. I watch all the trend kill stuff. I watch
Mhm.
all the stuff on Olay. Like I love all of it, man. It's just
Yeah.
crazy. It's crazy to like just see how far everything has progressed from like where we all started from, you know?
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
I got love for all of it. Like I'll criticize people's videos and stuff, but I still appreciate all of like the tricks and everything that people are doing to keep pushing the sports, you know.
Yeah.
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 Same.
Sports,
Yeah.
quote unquote.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No, this is an
definitely go
art
and
form.
film a video, even if it gets criticized.
Yeah, dude, fuck
100%.
it. Fuck what
100%.
everybody thinks, dude. Just like do it for yourself. Like it doesn't fucking
Yeah.
matter if people think you're cool or not. If you enjoy doing it, fucking do it,
Post and
Yeah.
ghost.
man. Yeah, pretty much. It's just, I mean, not even like post, and if people talk shit, just talk shit back. Fuck them. It's it's your video. It's your ideas. It's your manifestation of what you want to do with a scooter. So just do
True.
it. Put it
Yeah.
out in the world.
Yeah. And if
Art
it hurts,
art
it's probably
doesn't
true.
art doesn't have to be good or bad. It just has to make you feel something.
Fuck yeah.
True.
That's
Yeah.
real. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, dude. Watching GoPro footage turns me into a monster.
Little
I
parlay
mean,
there or what,
I
Bax?
mean, if you're wearing a GoPro going 50 down a hill, I'll fucking watch that shit.
Yeah, fair. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
How fast is
Um,
Andrew going?
dude, Andrew goes too fast, man. Too
yeah,
fast.
yeah. Dude, he's quick. How was Dissidence? How was
Which
the
you
most
talking about?
recent one? The most recent
Mexico,
one. Yeah, in Mexico.
dude.
That seemed
Mexico
like a
was
wild, wild experience, dude.
it was sick, man. I mean, it was. I've been to Mexico a couple times, but this was this trip was the furthest south that I've been. But actually, every time I've been to Mexico, it's been with Andrew. We've gone about 3 times now. But
Okay.
yeah, it was awesome. I mean, it was a little bit tough just because like I didn't have phone service down there,
Hmm.
so I couldn't really like run off and go on adventures on my own. Like I always had to be with like the group. So, and like some of the days, I mean, we were all like older dudes, so like sometimes some days it was harder to like get up and start going, you know, because we're all like sore and shit.
Dude, yeah, and it's
And
like 140 degrees out there.
Yeah.
I mean, it wasn't that hot, but
Can't drink the water.
it was dry. Like it was super dry heat. So like if you sit in the if you're like trying to ride midday, you got like 10 tries at something before you're just fucking exhausted, you know?
Yeah.
Like it was crazy, dude. It was so hot. Like so many people down there got like heat stroke and shit. And like people don't a lot of people were talking shit about that contest and like the videos and stuff, but it's like you got to take into account like the environmental factors. Like a lot of these people, like dudes
Yeah.
coming from France and shit, like it does not get that fucking hot in
Yeah.
most of France.
Yeah.
Like maybe in the south of France in the summer, but not anywhere else in
No,
France. So
but
it's like
yeah,
as
probably nowhere close, even in the
yeah,
hottest spot.
I mean the closest equivalent would probably be like Australia in the summertime. It gets dumb hot in Australia, but like even like Juzzy and shit, people from Australia were having a hard time filming shit in Mexico because it was just so fucking hot, dude.
Who do you know that got a heat stroke? Was
A
there
lot
anyone
of people, dude.
specific?
Caden Booley definitely got heat stroke.
Oh yeah,
I
I
think he
did.
got
Yeah.
food poisoning too, and like I
Damn.
just know a bunch. Like I almost got heat stroke a bunch of times because
Oh, you ever
it's just
throw up?
yeah, man. Of
Yeah.
course,
Yeah.
like it's just what happens. Like
Definitely.
Andrew took me, Helmery, and I forget who else was there. One other person to Ensenada in Mexico, like a
Oh
couple
yeah.
years ago. I think it was like 2017, and I got heat stroke when we were
Damn.
there, and like, dude, I was so sick for like a while because we rode this like abandoned water park type thing, like in the middle of fucking nowhere, dude.
Dude.
And I got like terrible heat stroke, and I was just throwing up for like hours and hours, and like just chugging fucking water.
Yeah.
And
Damn.
like yeah, it took me out for like a couple of hours. So
Damn.
like after that experience, going back for coalition, I was like, I need to drink water all day, constantly, and wear a hat and stay in the shade when I'm not trying to ride, and like pick the time of day that I'm gonna try and do something. It's like these are the kinds of things you got to think
Yeah.
about.
Have a
And
Pedialyte on you.
yeah, like fucking electrolyte or whatever that shit's
Mm-hmm.
called.
Oh yeah,
But
yeah. The Spanish one.
that
They
shit
sell it at the
sucks,
gas
but it
station right up from
helps.
us.
Yeah, it
Um,
helps a lot. But yeah,
dude.
you gotta think about all that shit when you're trying to ride in places like that, because like you'll get fucking sick and you'll get fucked up, dude, and you'll just be stuck in bed. And like most of us got fucking COVID like midweek down there, so it was just like it was crazy,
Oh
dude.
shit.
It was
Jesus.
crazy. I almost had to stay in Mexico for another fucking 10 days because I got COVID. And when I went to fly home, they were like, "You have COVID. You can't get on an international flight." And I was like, "What the fuck, dude? Like, I can't just stay in Mexico for another 10 days. I've already been here 10 days." And so I called Andrew. And he was like, "Dude, fly to Tijuana and cross the border on foot, and I'll pick you up, and then we can get you a flight back to
Holy
Portland from San
shit,
Diego."
dude.
So that's what I did. I had to fly to Tijuana, cross the border on foot, and I stayed at Andrews after he picked me up. And I flew home the next day with fucking COVID. I'm like an asshole.
How to get
Hell
home,
yeah.
So,
man.
yeah, I
You
had to get
crossed the
home and
border
like,
on foot though. That's wild. Did
yeah,
you
I
run
had
into any
to.
Yeah.
roadblocks? Is that a
Nah.
school?
I mean, it's pretty chill.
Yeah.
Like the airport kind of has like this, like it's like a pathway through a building, and you just follow this shit. It's probably like a mile and a half long, and then
Damn. All right. Yeah.
you make your way to like it's basically like going through airport security. You just like wait in this line. They check your shit, check your passport, check your ID, and then you just go through across the border.
Yeah. Okay. That's way more. I was like envisioning you walking through a forest or some shit. I don't
There's no
know.
forest down
Yeah.
there, man. It's all
Of
desert.
course.
That's
Yeah.
in my head. Yeah. Dumb answer, but glad we
I
straightened
did
that out.
I did not have to hop over a wall. I promise you that.
Okay.
Damn.
Okay. I
That
would
would have
have
been sick.
understood.
Yeah, but yeah,
Um,
man, that trip was crazy, super
Yeah, it
crazy.
sounds definitely wild start to finish.
Yeah.
I know we really wanted to talk about TSI and just your experience with them over the years and for how
Oh
long
yeah,
were you
man.
a part of TSI?
Almost since the beginning, probably like the second, like 2.5 years in, maybe something like that. I think I went to one of the CooterCon contests at Skate Barn, if you guys know what Skate Barn was.
Yeah.
And this was when I was riding for Eagle Sport. I think this was like 2009. Yeah, probably 2009. And Matt and Casey were there, and they had like a little table set up with some Flow Masters on it. And like I've known Casey forever. It's just through the internet. He was
Mhm.
like one of the first people I knew in scootering via the internet.
He's a fucking goat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shout
So
out
Absolute
like
Casey.
legend.
I mean, before like Instagram and shit, and like we had MySpace and
Mhm.
Scooter Resource. So like
Yeah.
everybody that was connected via Scooter Resource, or like most people, at least in the US and like Australia and shit, they were also connected on like MySpace.
Did you
So
have
I
any
knew
of them in your top five on MySpace?
I don't remember, man. MySpace died like fucking 12,
Yeah.
13, 14 years ago, something like
Yeah.
that. But
Yeah.
fun fact, I told Dylan Casson about Scooter Resource via MySpace when he like found me on MySpace. He's like, "Do you know where I can like talk to people about scootering?" I was like, "Yeah, Scooter Resource, dude." And that was Dylan's intro to the scooter community.
It's so sick.
But yeah, I mean, so Casey was like one of the first people that I was like really friends with in the community, other than like Ricky Wernicke and like Josh Choi and all the Razor dudes. Cause like when I started riding in my hometown on Long Island, I had one friend, his name was Mike Lee, and he was like one of the dudes that like we started Scoot York with. And he
Sick.
had a camera, so like he would always film us and shit. And like he found the NBS forum, Nothing But Scooters, that Ricky Wernicke started like early, it's probably like 2002, 2003, around that time. Like before Scooter Resource was like the main hub for the community. And so we knew like a lot of the Razor dudes via that forum, and like the Philly dudes, like the Philly crew, Brian Boston and Casey Murphy and Mike McGowan, Sean Kane, uh, all those guys. So like
Mm-hmm.
we used to talk to them, and like Casey was on Razor, or yeah, Casey was on Razor, and so yeah, he was just like one of the dudes. So once he like started TSI, I got flown out by Eagle Sport to that CooterCon contest, and he and Matt were there with a table set up, and they had like Flowmasters and shit. And I was like riding Casey's scooter, and I was like, dude, I fucking need one of these. You
Mm-hmm.
gotta send me one of these. You gotta send me one of these. And Matt knew who I was because he was riding my Eagle Sport wheels, and I was like, yeah, man, like I really like these scooters. Like I'd love to have one. And he had my scooter or my wheels on his scooter, and I was like, hey, I like those wheels, man. You like them? And he's like, yeah, they're the best. Like they're so fast. And I was like, oh, I'm glad you like them. Those are my wheels. And he was like, you're Hep Greg? What? That's crazy. And then like that's how I was introduced to Matt. And then like I don't know, a couple months later, once they had like a few batches down of Flowmasters, they sent me one, and I was like, I want to ride this forever. Like you
And
got
then
to
you
put me on the
did.
team. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then they put me on the team. I made like a little 30-second video or something as like my intro to TSI part. It's still on my Vimeo page somewhere. But yeah, that was
So
like the
cool.
beginning of me riding for TSI. And then I just never ever stopped riding for TSI after that.
When did you start working in the warehouse?
So I moved. I worked there like every time I would come out to Portland. Like before I moved here in September 2014. But like I would visit at least like once a year from 2010 to 2014, and like I I would always just do like a little bit of work depending on how long I would stay. Like we'd pack boxes or like cut tubes or
Mhm.
do whatever. And then I think it was like 2013. I stayed out here with Travis House for like a month or two. We were living in this like shitty old trailer that they had on the property because this was still when it was like at Matt's old house.
Mhm.
And we would just do like whatever needed to be done, like same shit, packing boxes, labeling stuff, uh, photo work, video work, just all that kind of shit. Like
Yeah.
everything that wasn't like real hard manufacturing work. And then I left, and Travis stayed probably like 6 months or something out here, just like working and living in the trailer. And then let's see, I think I went back to the East Coast, and I started working at Woodward, like the
West,
first, no, East,
East. Okay.
the first or second summer that they had scooters, or both. I can't remember. It's been so long. And
That's when
the
Jake
first two,
Hershey was like director, right?
yeah,
Didn't
that
he
was the
run the first operation of the East?
yeah that's
Okay.
so that was the first like full summer that they had scooters, and I was there.
Yeah.
Or wait, no, that was the second one. Or I can't even remember, dude. It's been so
No
long.
worries. Yeah, it's a
But
minute
so the
ago.
first the first 2 summers that Woodward East had scooters, they only ran it for like the last 2 weeks of camp. And then the third summer that they had scooters, they had it for the whole summer. And that was 2014. So I worked at Woodward that summer for almost the whole summer. And
Sweet.
I was,
This
I mean, the pay
artwork's
was,
still in Egypt. Sorry.
oh yeah, dude, I caught like a bunch of tags out there that are still rocking. And it's crazy because like people will send them to me that I don't even know. They just be like, dude, I found your cat at Woodward. And I'll be like, hell yeah, I can't believe
Bro,
that's still there.
yeah, I fucking we both worked there, but we would have like OSI shifts at Egypt, and it was right at where you would post up on the top,
Yeah, yeah,
by the
yeah.
little sliding door. But yeah, your cat's still posted on
Still riding.
the rail and still
Fuck yeah.
riding.
There's like some other tags like graffiti shit, but I'm not gonna tell you what it says because that's just how it goes with graffiti. But so I worked at Woodward that summer, and I was like, the pay was shit. It was like $1.80 an hour or something. So, but I was there for like 10 weeks, you know, and I was like selling weed to like the staff and shit,
Yeah.
and like using
Got
that
to.
to get by. And I saved all my paychecks from that whole summer, which only came out to like $1,100 or something. And
Bro,
I
that's how
got
they
back to
fucking get you. Like, I just want to say, I know the struggle. I worked there for like 3 years, and it's still shit. I think they just
well,
changed it, but it was like $400 a week, maybe.
I mean
Got
it
to
makes
sell weed out
sense. Like
there.
they house you and feed you for free and shit. So it's just like, you know.
It does. No,
Yeah.
I've had the best times there, but it's
Yeah,
you're fucking
exactly.
scraping by with sheets and just like trail
Yeah.
mix.
You're not gonna fucking
I'm
make a
eating.
career out of working at Woodward, but you're gonna have a fucking great summer.
Unless you're a true
For
lost
real.
boy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway, so I saved like all my paychecks. I came back to New York, and this was after we had left the Philly house, like the
Oh
summer
yeah.
after we left. And I had no idea what I was gonna do, like when I came back from Woodward. Because I was like, damn, Philly's over. Like I'm back in New York. I'm living in Long Island with my parents again. I was probably there for like 2, 3 weeks, and I was like, dude, I need to get the fuck out of here. Like I'm not gonna stay stuck in Long Island anymore. So I don't remember exactly what warranted my trip out to Portland that year, but I just bought a one-way ticket and fucking sent it. And I lived on Chetty's couch for like a month. And then I told Matt, I was like, you got to give me a job, dude. Like, you just got to give me a job. And he was like, all right, fine, I'll give you a job. So, and then I was just working, living on Chetty's floor on his couch. And then I moved in with Casey because he used to live with his brother in Beaverton, because this is when the shop was still out in Beaverton, like in the suburbs of Portland.
Okay.
And so I moved in with Casey out there for like almost a year. And then I met this girl and moved out of Casey's place and then into Portland. And then, I mean, that was my whole start out here. It was just a one-way ticket, my scooter, and a backpack. And it
Hell
just
yeah.
worked out. Yeah, it was
Started
like
on
one
a
of
couch
those.
and got a girl.
It
Good
was like
job.
one of those times in my life where it was like, if I'm going to do something crazy, I got to do it right now. Like, I don't have any responsibilities. I don't really have anything serious going
How
on.
old
So
were
I'm just
you at
going
the
to send
time?
it. 2014, 10 years ago. So I was like 22-ish, something like
Gotcha.
that. 22, 23.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah, that is
old,
the
if you
perfect
guys
time
didn't
to
know.
fucking risk it. But yeah, how old
Yeah,
are you now?
exactly.
32?
I'll be
33?
34 in November.
There we go. And you're still fucking pushing, man. Jesus.
Yeah, man.
You're
I
still,
don't
That's so
drive,
sick, yeah.
so
you don't
Gotta push.
no.
Hell yeah.
I'm from New York, dude. I've never had a license. I have a permit. I've had a permit since I was 16, but I never got my license. So just
Damn.
skateboard, scooter,
Oh, that's
bicycle,
fucking
whatever.
awesome.
It's
Yeah,
just how I get
that's
around.
super cool.
Yeah.
Damn, so you
So
gotta stay in a city.
Yeah, I have to.
Yeah.
If I lived in fucking the middle of nowhere, I'd be fucked. But
Get a
I'd probably
horse.
just like, no, I'd probably get like a Vespa or something and just ride dirty because fuck it, you're in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
What are they gonna do? Fucking
Uh,
pull me over on a horse and buggy?
Hell,
oh, dude, you watch the Amish do it in Pennsylvania?
Dude, yeah. This this one time I pushed from Woodward to Milheim on
no
my
way.
scooter. It was only like it was like 6.5 miles or
Yeah.
something like that. And like
Still a push.
it's like
Yeah. I was
hills and
gonna say,
valleys, you know?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
so I'm like I got to the top of this one hill and I just fucking bombed this hill. And there's a bunch of Amish working in the field and they just like I see them with like a fucking garden hoe or whatever, and they're just like staring at me as I'm
yeah.
riding down the shoulder of the road, just like, what the fuck is this guy doing? But then, like, they ride scooters too,
They
you
that's
know?
what I was
So it's
just
like,
about to say is they know.
Yeah.
They got
yeah, but
Yeah.
like,
badass wooden scooters.
yeah, their scooters are sick as fuck. But like to see like our scooters, they're just like, what is that, dude? Like, what is this
Alien
kid doing?
technology.
Yeah,
Yeah, because the wheels are like so small compared to what they ride, you know.
100%. They're
So they're
riding
probably just like
archaic big wheel. That
those
shit's built
scooters
in
are
the
sick, dude.
Renaissance.
I
They
bet if you
are.
bombed like a serious hill, you could probably hit like 60 on one of those things. You
Oh,
might die, but
there's wheel hubs
It'd
on them
probably
too, to where they can
collapse.
only put one foot on it. They like have to ride
oh
ski,
yeah,
I
yeah,
think.
yeah, yeah. The decks are like fucking like this big, dude.
Yeah,
It's like
dude,
it's
10 inches
crazy.
long.
I remember one time we were at the gas station in Milheim and like somebody rolled up on one of those, like one of the Amish dudes, and we were like, dude, where do you get those? Like, is there a local guy that like makes them or something? Or do you like where do you buy them? And he explained like the whole story. I can't remember what he said, but it was just like
Oh, damn.
I had to ask that question because it was just
Yeah.
like I've never seen anywhere that you could buy those, you know? Like
Yeah.
there's like Schwinn ones that are kind of similar, but they're like more modern. But theirs are like, yeah, they're like archaic, like you
Dude,
said. Like
yeah.
they're just so old looking.
Really stuck in the past. It's fucking awesome. His
Yeah.
Like,
cousin Esmeralda crafted it for him in the garage or some
exactly.
shit. Like
Jebediah
Yeah.
forged it from old horseshoes.
she's my sister and I love her.
Jeez. Did you ever? I feel like you started machining and stuff for TSI at some point, right? Or like
I
in some
started
sort of
welding
welding or
first.
something. Yeah.
Yeah, I started welding. So probably almost probably like 7 years ago, 8 years ago, something like that. Because when I was living in New York, I went to college in Manhattan for a little while, but for like an art school, but I dropped out because I was just scootering all the time. Like that was I went to college in 2007, and that was like right when scootering was like starting to get big for everybody, you know, and like that was like my whole life. Like I was riding with like John and Elmer and Sanchez and Brian Murphy all the time. So I just like fucked off all my college classes because I was going for like graphic design. I was like, this is fucked, dude. Like, I don't want to sit in front of a computer for the rest of my life. Like, I like doing this for fun, but I don't want to do it for a job. So
Yeah.
then
Yeah.
after I dropped out, I moved to Queens because I was living in Manhattan going to school. And I moved to Queens and I was like working for a little while with like some of my other scooter homies doing like food delivery and shit in Manhattan on scooters, like not on bikes. And
Yeah.
I started going to trade school for a little while because I always wanted to make handlebars. Like that was always like one of my aspirations. When I was younger, I was like, I want to make handlebars. Like I want to make T-bars. I just wanted to do that for some
Mhm.
reason. So I went to trade school for a little while, learned how to TIG weld a little bit, and then I fucking dropped out again because I I was just a shithead and I just wanted to ride my scooter. And then when I came out here, Matt had an older guy named Mike who was probably like late 60s, 70 something, doing all the steel welding. And
Damn.
he wanted to retire. So I was like, I mean, I can do a little bit of welding. Like if you want Mike to teach me a little bit more, I can start doing all the steel welding. And he gave me a shot. And yeah, I started making like Heptrons, like the old Heptrons, and TV, like the original TV bars and shit. And that's just like how I got my start, was just with a little bit of experience and learning on the job. And
That's
I worked
fucking
my way up
sweet.
to doing aluminum. And I never wanted to like learn how to machine. We had hand mills and shit that were easy because it wasn't like computerized. So I could do that stuff like in the beginning, because it was just like you would do like one process at a time. So like if you were going to drill the axle holes, that's the only thing you would be doing. Like once it was set up, you just put the part in, drill the hole, take it out, put the part in, drill the hole, take it out. And it was just over and over and over again. So it wasn't really like you needed training to do
Yeah.
that stuff.
Mindless work.
And like the old CNC machines were fucking dinosaurs, dude. Like the screen was just like looking at an Atari, you know. It was like there was no way to like test your programs and like make sure it worked before you ran it. And like when we had that machine, I was like, I'm not touching that thing with a fucking 10-foot pole, dude. Like I'm gonna take my fucking hand off. I'm gonna break something. Like I don't want any part of that. And then when we got the newer CNC machine, like nobody knew how to use it. Like Keaton didn't know how to use it. Matt didn't know how to use it. And I was like, all right, I can probably figure this out since it's just a computer. So we spent like probably 3 months just reading the fucking books and learning how to
Holy
use
shit.
it. And
Yeah.
then Keaton left for San Francisco after, I don't even remember when this was. This was like 2 years ago or a year and a half, something like, nah, a little more than that, probably 2 years ago. And he left for San Francisco, and he was the one who was like running the CNC for a while. Like he ran the old one too for a bit because Matt kind of taught him how to use it because I didn't want to learn how to do it. He came back from San Francisco, and while he was gone, like I had to learn how to use the new machine.
Mhm.
So I just stepped up and I was like, I mean, if I don't do this, nobody's gonna fucking do it, you know? So I just learned how to
Yeah.
do it, and I started learning how to write programs. And like, dude, yeah, I learned that machine like pretty well, like up until the end. Like there was a point where there was like a battery inside of it that kept the memory alive, and that battery died. So all of our programs and everything got wiped.
Oh, so you had
Like
to
Damn.
rewrite every
yeah,
single piece of
I had
code.
to learn how to reinitialize the whole machine and like reinstall the programming on it and all this shit, dude. So I basically had to learn how to set up the machine to like even know that it was a machine.
That's
So
Dude.
I learned how
crazy.
to do that shit, and like I took all of our programs and cut like minutes out of each program, and I got everything down to like 30-second programs. Just streamlined everything, dude. And then like that's where I was at like when Matt decided to call it quits, and I was just like, fuck, dude. Like I was just getting the hang of this shit.
Dude,
I
and then
was
they
pretty
sold that
yeah.
machine, right?
Yeah, the machine's gone. The last
Bro,
time I was at Matt's house, it wasn't
that's
even
your
there
baby at
anymore.
that point. You just put
Yeah,
so much
man.
work. That's your girl. Like you just, I feel
Yeah, I
like
Yeah.
spent
losing something like that.
yeah,
Oh,
I don't know.
dude.
It sucked, man. But you know,
Yeah.
what are you gonna do? That's just
Yeah.
how it goes.
Yeah. What are you gonna do?
I don't know. Right now, I'm just kind of like taking care of my son, and my partner's working, and
Oh shit.
just trying to make a little bit of money here and there, doing like DJ stuff. And I've just been like selling a bunch of old scooter parts just to like make up for not having an income. But
How
I'm
many
running out of
has
scooter
Donald bought off
parts.
of you?
Quite a few. Yeah, he's probably paid me like a couple grand for
Yeah.
a whole bunch of scooter parts. That
Hell
dude's
yeah.
cool though. I owe him a
Yeah.
beer. If you're watching, Donald, I haven't forgot that I owe you a beer if we ever meet. So
A Dr.
cheers,
Pepper,
Donald.
probably.
Oh yeah, he loves
Nah,
the
I'm gonna
Dr.
buy that.
Peppers.
I'm gonna buy that man a fucking pint because he deserves it.
He does. He does.
Yeah,
I know
he's
he
a
tried to get TSI back up,
Yeah,
right?
we were talking about it, but it never really like
Didn't work out.
materialized into
Yeah.
anything. Yeah. But I admire him for having the love and the drive to even offer something
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
I saw
So
Zach Martin make a comment. He was saying TSI X TDI.
I've been trying to get Andrew to do that for a long ass fucking time, but he's always like really picky about TDI stuff. And like
Yeah.
he always said like he wanted to like get TDI to like a second version before he started working with other companies to like use the technology. But I mean, he seems like he's in a good place now to really get everything settled in for that because he got his whole machine shop up and running and stuff. I mean, the
Yeah.
past like year or so, he's just been working on the machines and getting him to work to
Yeah.
do what he wants him to do. So I think he's finally at a point where he can start making stuff and like really get the ball rolling, you know.
It's gonna be sick for sure. I've been keeping updated from him, just talking to him like every couple weeks or so. Just asking about the progress on like the 6.5 and other stuff. And it seems like he finally just got the new like machine to get the sixes rolling. He was trying to produce a bunch of like 6.22.5s. So now he's gonna start pumping out like the 6.5s and 7s. And then I think he wants to like revamp another Prita fork and do a bunch of like metal barons and shit. So
Yeah,
it'll be cool.
he's been talking about doing a new fork for a while. I hope he does. I mean, he's always made really good forks. I used to ride a
Yeah.
striper fork like exclusively for a real long time when they were around.
I wish I still had one, honestly.
I
But
still have one.
really,
Yeah, I'm not riding it, but I have one.
That's a relic, man. You think you'd ever let go of that one?
yeah,
I mean, I've been thinking about it just because I need some money, but I don't really want to.
yeah, it's a keeper.
But yeah, I'd probably
Keeper.
end up keeping it.
Yeah,
Because that was just like that was one of the parts that was like this is one of my favorite scooter parts ever. So I'd like to
yeah,
keep one of them. But I mean, I'm not riding 24 millimeter wheels anymore, so it's kind of like I don't really know what I'm gonna do with
yeah,
it other
30
than just like
gang.
look at it.
yeah. How are
Yeah,
those 30s? The
the
river.
river the river ones are nice, dude. Like they're super smooth, super fast. They're a little bit heavy, but I mean that's just what
Yeah,
happens when you add more urethane and more metal.
yeah.
I mean, if
That's
I had my way, I would probably ride like 28 wide by 117 diameter with like 24 millimeter hub just to get all the extra metal out of the core and just keep the weight down a little bit. Because I'm not like a fucking like my legs are strong, but my upper body's not very strong. So having a heavy scooter has always been rough. And like I'm older now, so like my body is starting to fall apart. So like if I ride a heavy scooter for like a whole day, like I'm sore as fuck at the end of the day.
yeah,
So I've always kind of liked keeping a lighter scooter. So
yeah.
Feel that?
Makes sense.
I do love the
yeah.
30s though. I'll never convert. When's the last time you've done an overhead?
An overhead, what the fuck is that?
Like a bri
Like
flip?
oh,
Like an inward?
I mean I could still do like 180 dry flips on quarters and stuff on the regular. Like I can't do like
Fucked.
I can't do front brides anymore or
Yeah.
like scooter flips or anything.
When does it start getting real hard? Like what age? Where you're like, oh fuck, I don't even want to go out of my way to try this.
I mean, it just depends like how you take care of your body, you know. It's
Fair.
like
Yeah.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
I'm
sure.
I'm pretty skinny. Like I'm 5'9" and I weigh like about 140 pounds. So I'm pretty nimble and I don't drive, so like I have to use my own body to get everywhere that I need to go. So I'm still in pretty good shape. Like my knees are kind of fucked
It's
up
true.
and
You're
my ankles
pushing.
are
You
fucked up.
definitely got
Yeah.
good legs if you're pushing everywhere and biking.
Yeah, and biking and like skateboarding and shit
Yeah.
always. So and like I said, like I've never had a license, so like I've just been doing that my whole life. So it's just it's not that hard for me. I'm sure it'll get harder in the coming years as I get
Yeah.
older. But
Think you'll ever have to get a license?
I mean, I'd like to just to be able to go on like road trips and shit. But I
Yeah.
don't know. We'll see.
Like
I really,
55, 60 still pushing around at the grocery store.
yeah, I don't know. I don't know, man.
That'd
But
be crazy.
I really just want to get a license so I can get a moto endorsement and get a Vespa. Like
Okay.
that's my goal for having a license. Like I don't care if I really ever have a car.
You want the
Especially like
Vespa.
if I'm living in the city, like public transportation is fine. Like I take the train, I take the bus, and it's whatever. My carbon footprint is pretty small,
Yeah.
which is
Yeah,
good.
damn near zero.
Yeah, almost. I mean, smoke a lot of cigarettes and throw my cigarette butt, so I got like a pinky footprint.
Pinky foot. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's fair. It's better than most.
You got
yeah.
any solar panels?
I live in an apartment building, so no, I don't have any solar panels.
Throw it on the
Yeah.
e-scooter you get. I
You
don't
got
know.
any roof damage? You got any hailstorms recently?
It does hail out here, but it hasn't recently.
Oh
Usually,
shit.
like
Let us
when
know.
it's turning from like winter like into early spring, we get crazy hailstorms out here. It's wild. Like
Damn,
golf,
dude. Yeah,
sometimes like
we
golf ball sized
I have
hail.
to
we
remember
started
that.
getting into roofing, so that'll be a perfect excuse to just travel and scooter. Be like, yeah, we're gonna go work out here. For
Bunch
sure.
of hail comes out here apparently.
Yeah,
Man.
just push out here with all your tools and shit.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll
Our
scooter with a
business.
ladder. We'll just Austin,
Yeah.
we can split this ladder across the two of our
I'll be the
scooters and
caboose.
push
Just
700 miles.
just
Yeah.
get the jetpack with the
Be
backpack, dude.
heady.
The
Dude, yeah.
extendable ladder.
He's so
Oh
heady.
hell yeah.
I got one of those. They fucking rule, dude.
Damn. I've been looking
Wait,
into them.
wait, you got a fucking jetpack? Hold on now. What are
Yeah.
we
The no, like the extendable ladders, the collapsible ladders.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah. Got one of them.
We call that a jetpack
That's
Oh
in the
yeah.
graffiti world
I'm gonna
because
start stealing that lingo, dude, when I'm bringing my ladder around. That's what's
The
up.
jetpack.
yeah, man, that's a jetpack, dude.
I'd much rather pull out the jetpack.
I got that exotic. That's
Oh
funny
man.
as hell, dude. How many records do you own?
I probably have, I don't know, a lot. Probably in between like 700 and 1,000, probably something like that. Maybe more at this point. I'm not really sure.
That's
But
fucking
I
awesome.
Crazy.
probably have like 700 like 7-inch single records, and then I have probably 200 albums, something like that.
You got like a top three? Is there any that hold a real special place?
Albums or just
I guess just
singles?
anything. Maybe singles, records. First thing that comes to your mind.
Albums, definitely. I could probably give you a top three. Um, Everything Goes Numb by Streetlight Manifesto is definitely up there on my list. Wasted Days by the Slackers is another really good one. And I'm gonna try to think of one that's not a ska record. Gentleman by Fela Kuti, which is an African record. That's super fucking good.
Fuck yeah. All right. I just added
That
everything
sounds
goes
heady.
numb. I'll learn.
Yeah, some ska. One dude who I clean a pool for, honestly, he's always smoking a cigar, bumping some old reggae like in his backyard. And he put me onto a few artists, and I honestly never wrote him down, so I forgot him. But
Ooh.
he's always on some really crazy shit. And he's I don't fuck with anything past like 1968 or something.
It sounds
And I
like
was
my kind of guy.
yeah. Yeah, he's super cool as a person for sure. I always talk to him, but I've been waiting to see him. He just travels a lot. And one day I'll let you know who he was mentioning, though. I'll
Yeah,
see what
I'm
he
probably
said.
sure I know most of them. I mean,
Get a
if he
cross
listens to like
reference.
if you listen to like late 60s stuff, that's like what I listen to as well. Like 60 to like 73, 74 is like my favorite chunk of Jamaican music.
Hell yeah. I'm uneducated in that area, but
Just delete your fucking Spotify, dude, and you'll learn a lot more about music.
So neither of us have
how
a
else?
Spotify
Yeah.
actually.
All right,
Yeah.
you guys are okay in
We
my
gotta
book
delete the
then.
Apple Music and SoundCloud.
Well, I mean, SoundCloud's cool because like a lot of like indie artists use it and shit.
Oh
So
yeah, it's
Yeah.
underground. That's where you find
Yeah.
the
real
real
jams.
underground trash music. I don't know.
there's another
Pull from all over
app.
the internet.
There's another app that a lot of like DJs and radio hosts use called Mixcloud, which is like they just upload like radio show archives and like very like specific mixes of like vinyl records and stuff. Like you can find a lot of like 2 hour mixes of like Jamaican music or like Latin American music, African music, like anything you could look for. And it's more like hand curated stuff. So it's not just like an algorithm feeding you
Yeah.
whatever the fuck is,
Random
licensed
music.
for them to
Yeah.
use. Yeah.
Oh man,
Yeah.
this is where we got to tap in our roommate
That's super
Josh.
underground.
Honestly,
Josh is right over here. I've been wishing he could come over and like
dude,
like put
that would
into
nerd out
some of
so
his
hard.
knowledge. Yeah.
Oh yeah, he's in the same. He's a fucking. He's
Ska.
definitely. He's got his Rastafarian lifestyle locked down.
He was into some African music too. Yeah. Some Zulu.
Oh yeah.
Lady Black Mambazo.
African music is crazy, man. Because like, I mean, anything that you could think of, like Western music, it all stems back to like 16th century European standards of writing music. Like anything that comes from America or Europe or anything that like any of those like empires, like the British Empire, the Roman Empire, like anything that comes from classical music, it was all written with the same rules and structure as what was formed in like 16th century Europe. But African music uses completely different structure, like harmonies, note progressions, and everything. So it's like if you start getting into African music, it'll sound super weird to you because you've been conditioned to hear
you have all
music.
these rules in your mind already
you
set
don't
into place.
even know that those rules are there until you start hearing music that's written outside of those rules. And African music does not follow any of those rules. So it's like when I started discovering like African artists, like I was just like, this is so fucking strange, man. It sounds so weird, but I like it. And
it's probably a sound that hooks you too. It's like you start off anything I feel like I don't like that I listen to enough, I'll like reach that hill where I become obsessed with it. And it's always the shit that I didn't like the first time I heard it.
Fela Kuti is a good starting point for African music because it's very like, Fela Anikapoluto Ransom Kuti is his full name, but it's Felakuti, Fela Kuti. And he was the father of Afrobeat, which is like very funk driven, very rhythmic, like full horn sections, rhythm section. It sounds very Western funky, but it's still like his songs are like 25 minutes long, and like it's just like you get into this like rhythmic trance listening to it, and it's like, dude, the first time I ever heard Fela, I was like hooked immediately. I was like, dude, this is so fucking good. I mean, he's from Nigeria, which is on the western coast of Africa, and you start like going further back, because he played music in like the 70s and the 80s and like mid 60s and stuff and forward from there. And but you start getting into like more like rural areas of Africa, and the music just gets so far outside of anything you've ever heard. It's like, it's wild, man. It's hard to even comprehend some of it, but it's amazing. I mean, Africa is like one of the biggest continents in the world. It holds like 12 million people, 12 billion people or something like that. I don't even know.
We all started there too. Probably taps back into your primal urges. I don't know.
That's where all life comes from, and like all music started in Africa because that's where people come from. But then I mean, it changed once Europe was civilized, I guess. But anyway, African music is cool.
I'm gonna start listening to it. I like the way you explain it's like flow state music. I feel like those long songs, at least that's how I feel listening to jungle, like long drawn out jungle mixes. I feel like I get into a little flow state. You become mindless in whatever you're doing, but it feels right. It feels effortless.
Well, I mean, jungle comes from jungle stems back to Jamaican music, which stems back to older
Yeah.
Caribbean music, which stems back to music from Africa because slaves were transported from Africa to the Caribbean and resettled in the Caribbean. And I mean, a lot of Caribbean music, even like Cuban music, has deep African roots. Like it all comes from Africa. Like all music from the Caribbean and like parts of Latin America and stuff, it all comes from Africa.
Okay, I'm fully intrigued, man. It's
Yeah.
on my Apple Music
Yeah.
now. At least everything goes numbs on there, and then I liked a Fela Kuti track.
Yeah,
Goof.
definitely check out Fella, man.
Um,
Fella Kuti's sick.
well, dude, I would love to get into we got a little segment on here called Phil's Top 5. It's actually turned into like 10 questions, so it should probably be Phil's top 10 now.
All right.
But shout
We'll
out
switch it
Phil
over.
first off. And then number
Yes, sir.
one is who do you think the Michael Jordan of scootering is?
The Michael Jordan of scootering, as in like best trick wise or like the most accomplished scooter rider?
I feel like it's subjective because yes, I think they have to be a GOAT skill wise, but then also some people don't think Michael's the GOAT, but he is iconic. So I feel like it's this balance of like iconic and skill.
That's a good question.
Shout out Phil. Just got the heaters.
Shout out. We love you, Phil.
I don't know. I don't know who I would say is the Michael Jordan of scootering. I mean, damn, I was not prepared for that question.
It's a tough one. It's a tough one. We have a lot of Matt McKeans. I've heard that one a lot. We got
Yeah.
Ryan Williams. I feel like my answer would be Reese. Dozma.
Which Reese? Reese Dozma? I don't know.
Dog Zebra. But that's
mean-
because coming from like, I think I'm influenced by that's what I grew up on in the sense
Yeah.
that had the most influence on me. Whereas for you, I don't know, maybe it would like Casey Corning stand out, pioneering.
I'd probably say
Cody Donovan was one.
McKean, Cody, or Brandon Kilberry, probably.
Shout out PK.
Yeah. Or maybe like Dylan Morrison. I don't know. Just because, I mean, Dylan Morrison is like a very well-rounded rider. Like he can do pretty much anything.
Yeah.
And I mean, McKean sort of put a lot of outside spotlight on scootering, you know, in like skateboarding and stuff like that. And Ryan Williams sort of did the same thing from like the BMX standpoint.
Yeah.
Like he got a lot of, he started like turning a lot of heads and like.
That would be like MJ going to baseball, but if he actually,
White Sox or whatever,
if he actually did well,
yeah,
Pretty sure
he
he
actually
did.
won a
Someone
championship.
did.
But yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I could pick just one.
That's fair.
That's fair, yeah.
Well, number two, and then if you have anything pop in your head, you can blurt it out. It's subjective for Michael Jordan, so we'll let you sit on that one. But number two is worst trend.
Worst trend. 90s clothes. Get the fuck out of here with that shit.
You don't like the big jorts?
Nah, dude, I lived through that shit and I was happy when it disappeared, man. Wear clothes that fit you.
I feel you.
That's all I gotta say
my
about
pants
that.
are huge, bro. God
Yeah,
damn
like,
it.
He's guilty of that one.
I remember I was like, I think the last time we went to Chicago, like all these kids were like, I stayed at like Busty Justy's house and like he had a bunch of people staying there. And these kids were like 16, 17, whatever, like, dude, I just found a pair of pants that are like 44 waist and they're fucking huge, man. And like, they're just like ratchet them closed with a belt and they're all like bunched up and shit. And I'm just like, you guys look like fucking fools, man. Like,
I've never hit 40, bro. I was sticking that like 36 range, 36 to 38.
This shit wasn't even that cool when I was a kid, man. You guys are like on it hard. I'm just like, nah, man, that shit. So that's my worst
32. Shout out.
Yeah. Yeah, I wear like a 30-30, man.
Damn.
But yeah, that's
skinny khakis.
That's probably my pick for worst trends.
All right, baggy clothes. I feel a little hurt, but it's okay.
Just like
It's
90s revival clothing, like wearing like fucking spike bands and shit.
I get it since you lived through it. You fucking grew up through the punk era and like when skateboarding was actually starting. and now
Yeah,
to
I
see
mean,
it come back, yeah.
I was a punk rocker, dude. Like I still have my fucking battle vests, and like I had a mohawk at
Oh
one point, and
shit.
I used to wear bondage pants and all that shit, man. So like I lived through all that shit, you know.
You got any mohawk clips on the scooter?
Nah, I can't even find any photos of when I had a mohawk anymore. They died with MySpace,
Oh, damn.
Damn.
sadly.
I think Justin Timberlake tried to buy it. You could hit him up, get your relics back. Number 3 though, most underrated rider to look out for.
Most underrated rider to look out for. Let's see.
Do you watch Instagram a good bit, or do you mainly
Yeah,
just
yeah.
stick to
No,
okay? Yeah.
I watch tons of stuff on Instagram. I really like Cuba from the Midwest. Who else?
It was sick.
Yeah, Cuba's fucking sick. And there's this kid out here named Jonah. I think his Instagram is just like Jonah W or something like that. Who's
Shout
Yeah.
fucking
out
killer.
Jonah.
Yeah.
He's
Dude,
raw.
he's so
He's raw.
good at scootering. It's fucking
Yeah.
crazy,
His
man.
style is so good too. His threes. He has like I think him and Busty. I've like probably my favorite 360s.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Maybe like Joe.
They've
I like
got like
Joe's too.
that
Joe Boss.
very like
It's delayed almost.
yeah, their movements are very like fluid and exaggerated
Yeah.
out, you know, like with lots of style. But yeah, Jonah's fucking sick, man. Like every time I see him, he just gets better and better. Also, Jacob Lengy is fucking
Shout out
killer.
Jay Lange.
Dude,
Yeah,
I haven't seen
Lengy,
clips
He's
from him a lot
sauced.
recently.
dude, Lengy is so
It's on
good
his
at
story a
scootering.
lot.
Bro,
Yeah,
he
like
actually just started following us too. Shout out. I did notice
I
that.
Oh,
I ride
really?
with him like
Yeah.
every couple of weeks, and he just like consistently has blown my mind every time for like a couple of years at this point. So Lengy's fucking
Hell
killer.
yeah. Shout out Logan
Yeah.
too. He's the boy.
Logan Love.
No. Fucking he's on the north. I'm sorry. I'm forgetting his last name. Or Jackson Brower. I'm
Oh
sorry.
yeah, Brower.
They're
Jackson
fucking
Brower. Yeah, Jackson's a
no,
good dude.
no, his name is Logan, I'm pretty sure. What is
Hef? Is it Hef?
Yeah.
Start with an H?
No, dude. There's Jackson something else then.
Well, Jackson
There's
Bauer's
two of
another
them.
good one.
Jackson.
Damn it. I feel so
Jayberg?
sorry now.
You talking about Jayberg from Washington?
No, he's
It'll
another Portland
come back.
local. He gets his car broken into a lot.
That's Jackson Brower.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay, I was thinking he was the one who rode the Bulls. That's Jay
Bulls.
Burke, though.
Yeah, that's Jackson. That's Jackson
Okay.
Berkland.
Okay, yeah. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm a little baked.
Oh, no worries. But yeah, dude, Jay Burke. Dude, everybody in Portland is fucked. I feel like you guys have such
It's a
a
good
crazy scene.
for sure.
We don't, dude. There's like nobody living here anymore. It sucks. It's like
Who all
me.
left?
Everybody left, dude. Like
Damn.
this used to be a hub. Like Dan Barrett, Ryan Upchurch, Kirk, Logan lived here. Like Logan Fuller. Jake Hershey lived here. Cooper lived here. Fucking everybody's gone, dude. Lucas lived here. Lucas Farringer.
Damn.
They're all gone, dude. It's like me, Jackson Brower, Keaton, Jay Lange, and like some just like younger dudes now, and like Casey, but Casey doesn't really ride as often anymore. And that's pretty much it, dude. Like Portland is bare bones right now. Nobody lives out here anymore.
Damn.
It sucks.
Our boy Andy Koch was thinking about moving out there, and then he pulled the plug last second. Maybe he heard the scene thing out or something.
Yeah, he's been here a couple of times. I love Andy. He's a good dude.
Shout out Andy.
Love him. Shout out. Have you ever been to Burnside?
Brower.
Yeah, I've rode Burnside a couple times. I think twice on a scooter, twice on a skateboard.
Man, how is it? What's it like on a scooter there? Do you get a lot of flack?
I mean, I rode there once in the morning with Casey for like half an hour before people started showing up. So we left. And then when we were living in, we used to call it the brick house, which is like, this was like 2016, 2017, when everybody was still living here. We got one good session there, like late at night, because they were doing construction on the apartments next door, and they had lights that were on 24/7. So we went there at like 11:30 at night and rode till like 3 a.m. one night, and it was just there was nobody there except us. It was a good sesh,
Yeah.
but I mean
Yeah.
the park is kind of lumpy, which nobody ever really talks about.
Oh, it looks janky as hell. Like it does look like it'd be hard to
It's a little
ride.
bit janky, but
Yeah.
I mean it's cool, man. Like you can go fast as fuck in there for sure. But I don't know. I'm trying to like there's like a couple like skate park advocacy groups in Portland that are trying to get it to where like everybody is allowed to ride Burnside, you know? So I've
Mm.
kind of been like talking with groups like that about like the experience of being a scooter rider in Portland and like how hard it is to deal with like skateboarders here and shit like
Yeah,
that.
it's so core out there. I mean,
Yeah,
like
it's
especially the
fucking
history
bullshit,
of
dude.
Burnside is like it's fucking insane. Just like how they built all that with their bare hands and then like the era they grew up in. So it's almost like I mean, I can see where they're coming from. Like I feel like if
I
I
mean,
was in
I
that
don't know.
pact, I might feel the same way, but
It's kind
it
of
is
bullshit
bullshit.
though,
It
because
is.
like FDR in Philly is like 4 times the size of Burnside, and like you can ride a scooter at FDR and nobody's ever gonna give you shit for it.
Yeah.
And
What do
like
they say? You
FDR,
chip the concrete or something?
no,
Not even.
FDR is way more hardcore than fucking Burnside, and like we used to ride FDR all the time when we lived in Philly, and like nobody would ever give a shit. And then like you go to Burnside, and everybody's got to fucking stick up their ass about it. It's like you can't fucking ride here. Like even if you have a skateboard there, like if you're not that good, like you're not gonna get to drop in. Like the dudes that ride fucking Burnside are assholes,
Yeah.
absolute fucking
It's
assholes.
egotistical. They think they're the shit.
They're just
They're the
drunk
coolest.
douchebags, dude. They
Yeah.
suck, man. Like I don't know.
Yeah, the mob
Burnside's
mentality's got to be wild.
it's
Yeah.
fucking whack, dude. Like Burnside's not even that good of a park to like. It just has this stupid cult following around it that like just fucking makes people that ride there on the regular total assholes.
Yeah, I'll take your word
I don't
for it. I've
want
just seen the videos, so in my head, I probably fantasize about it. But I bet if I pushed it for like a solid hour, like you know what, this transition is shit. Y'all can have it.
yeah, it's
Keep
really not that great, you know.
cracking
It's
your
like,
heads on this shit because you hit a crack.
yeah, I don't know.
See, we got
Number 4.
number 4 suggestion to further the sport.
Stop fucking criticizing and arguing with each other on the internet, dude. Like, if you don't have anything good to say about something in scootering, don't fucking open your mouth, dude. The sport has suffered so hard over the past couple years because everybody's just talking shit about each other and like just making fun of each other for the like people's fucking clothes and like how you film a trick or like what camera you use and all this shit. Just shut the fuck up and let people ride and do what they want to do in scootering. Be positive if you want to be positive. If you have something like if you have a negative thought about something, don't fucking say it because you're just going to drive people away. Like that's the reason why the industry is hurting so bad right now is because everybody's so divided and just so against one another in these stupid cliques. Like it's fucking high school, dude. But it's like, just shut the fuck up and appreciate what you like and don't talk about the shit that you don't like. Just leave it for the people who do like it. And that's
Real.
that's all I gotta say about that.
Real. I feel like I fall victim to that. I don't know, in the sense of like for me, I love scootering so much that it's like never with ill will. But then I do feel like criticism here and there is fair, but it should never be like you shitting on someone to the extent to where they quit. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
But
it's I
there's you
mean
have a place for your opinion. I mean,
yeah,
we
it's
talking shit is
If
fun in the right
anything, like
context.
keep
like
it in the group chat, not like
if
the
you
comment.
think not even dude like if you think something isn't cool or whatever like you think it can be improved like give constructive criticism, don't just talk shit on it, you know. It's like people have completely different experiences in life, you know. It's like just because something's not up to your standards doesn't mean that the next person even has the same standards or experiences as you to make those decisions to be able to present what they're doing in the same way. It's like just be positive or shut the fuck up, pretty much,
Yeah.
because you're not going to do anything but drive the sport down. Negative energy and negative comments like don't fucking help anything, and you're just dividing people. And it's just, I mean, it's why scootering is going back underground right now because like all these younger kids are seeing all these like top dudes talking shit, and they're like, damn, these guys are kind of assholes. Like, I don't really, they don't have anyone to look up to because all these
Yeah.
people are just being
They're shitting
assholes on
on
the
them.
internet. Yeah. And
Yeah.
it's like, are you really going to think a person's sick because, and like, you could think somebody's fucking cool, and then like, your video gets reposted somewhere and this person fucking comments on it and it's like, damn, this shit was whack. And then your whole fucking life is just crushed.
Yeah.
And
It
it's
does
like,
hurt as a kid, especially
yeah,
looking up to people
if
within scootering.
yeah, I mean, what I just said especially goes for like the people who are in the spotlight. You know, it's like if you're somebody that these kids are looking up to, don't fucking spread your negative opinions on the internet. Keep that shit to your fucking self, dude. Like, it does not help anything, and it pushes people away, and it doesn't give people something to look up to or to strive for to be better in scootering or even participate in scootering if you're just spreading all this negative shit. And it becomes like a trend to like talk shit on certain things. And it's like, if you don't have anything good to say, just don't fucking say it. That's really all it comes down to.
Yeah, fair. It's a good point. I'll never understand people making Instagram accounts strictly for talking shit.
If I see a video or whatever online and like it's not a great video, you know, like filming's bad, whatever, lots of repetitive stuff, like I'll find the one thing in the video that I like and say something about that instead of being like, oh, this sucks, this sucks, this sucks, this sucks, this sucks. It's like, no, just like lift people up for lifting somebody up for one tiny little detail as opposed to bringing them down for like 75% of everything else. Like, it's such a difference. Like, you could watch
Yeah.
a video and hate the whole thing, but you think one clip is cool and you say something about that one clip and it totally changes that person's day. Like,
Yeah.
and
100%.
it doesn't cost you anything. It doesn't take any extra energy to be nice. Like, it takes more energy to be mean about shit than it does to be nice. So it's like, just don't fucking do that shit. Like, don't talk shit about people's clips. Don't talk shit about people's fucking clothes. Like, it doesn't fucking matter, dude. Like,
What about the baggy pants?
it's just my personal opinion. Like, I'm not gonna hate a
Yeah,
person
I
or like
know. I
consistently
know.
talk shit on the internet because they wear baggy pants. It's like, if that's what you want to do it. But I'm not gonna do it. You know, it's like, I'll still think your clips are cool if you're a good scooter rider and you wear fucking parachute pants. Like, it doesn't. I'll still tell you that your fucking full whip in a line was sick, but I'm not gonna sit there on the internet and be like, dude, your clothes are fucking whack. Like, you know?
I
Yeah.
couldn't watch this because of your fucking pants.
Yeah, like I'm gonna unfollow you because your
Yeah.
clothes are stupid. Like,
Yeah.
no, dude, that's the dumbest shit I've ever heard. Like, I used to wear crazy. I know what it's like to wear like ridiculous clothes that are supposed to offend people, you know? Like, I come from punk rock. Like, all my friends had tattoos and crazy piercings and like pink plaid pants and spikes all over their shit. So it's like, I get it, you know? Like, some people, like, I don't know. It's your
Yeah.
choice to wear whatever the
Yeah.
fuck you want to wear, but like, I'm not gonna sit there and talk shit about it and like nitpick that over something that like could give you like a boost to your day. You know, it's just like, I'd rather be positive than negative about most fucking things, you know, unless it comes down to like racism or like xenophobic shit. Like, I'll fucking talk shit on you all day if you're a fucking
You're a
racist
piece
or
of
an
shit
asshole, you know?
person. Yeah.
Yeah, but like, I'm not gonna sit there and be a fucking bully on the internet about like how you film your tricks or like what you're wearing or like your laces aren't tied right or whatever.
Yeah.
None of that shit fucking matters at the end of the day at all.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
Doesn't affect you. Well, fuck. Mic drop. And then
Yeah.
on to number 6. What's your favorite video?
Dream Team Supreme, Matt McKean, forever.
Hell yeah.
Ever.
And Friendly Crew, Hat Gang, and Canberra. Those are my two favorite scooter videos.
Did you watch the recent friendly video?
Tram spotting?
I think, yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. It's a bunch of newer dudes.
Mm-hmm.
and then
No.
some Aaron Branston clips thrown in there.
Dude, I honestly don't know him by name. Can't
Aaron
recall.
Branston, Scootlands
No.
on Instagram.
Bootlands. No, no. I recognize
What, dude?
Spoons, the dude who does all the X up like Smith combos, and he also bikes. It's like I
Aaron
like that.
Branston's fucking OG Australian guy.
Word.
Like
Yeah.
he was an admin on Scooter Resource. That's how that's like
Hell
that's
yeah.
OG
Yeah, that's
status, dude.
OG.
Yeah.
Damn. An
That's triple.
admin.
That's triple lodge for sure.
Yeah.
Fuck. Somebody needs to make a history scootering page. Somebody needs to make a website with just archives filled with how things
Dude,
built up. I would love that.
I've had like 3 hour conversations with numerous people about this, about like the entire first half of Scootering's history is fucking gone from the internet because Scooter Resource isn't up anymore.
Damn. I wonder if you could get the code. It's got to be in the cloud somewhere.
I mean, Andrew has it somehow, some way, like logged
Yeah, he's
in
gotta.
archives, I think. But like, scootering is the first action sport that was primarily formed via the internet. Every other action sport, rollerblading, BMX, skateboarding, all had physical media in the beginning. Magazines, VHS tapes, DVDs, photos, all that shit. It's all physically documented, but the entire first half, the first fucking 10 years of scootering existed solely on the internet, and it's
Damn.
gone. It's fucking gone, dude.
Yeah.
Like that's
It's gotta
why
be there.
there's such a disconnect between like my generation and the kids that are just coming up today. Like
Yeah.
they can't access that stuff.
Yeah, they can't
It's
see the history.
impossible to see that. The only salvageable still existing archive of old stuff on the internet is Inside Scooter's blog spot. That's
Yeah.
it.
Shout
And
out.
that doesn't even go back that far. It goes back like
20,
2007,
yeah.
2006, maybe 2007, 2008 is probably more right. And I think I had the first interview on there, and it's like that's
Sick.
that's still only like the second. If you split scootering into three parts, that's still only the second part of it. The whole first part existed solely on the Scooter Resource and YouTube, and it's like it all the Scooter Resource stuff is gone. Like years and years and years of conversations and like talking about like designing parts and like what works and what doesn't, and the whole formative collective conversation of what a scooter should be existed on Scooter Resource. Like everything that scootering is now came from conversations that happened on Scooter Resource, and it's all fucking gone, dude. Like that's
Andrew,
why
please.
that's why
Austin,
there's
shoot him a
such
text.
a disconnect between my generation and like the newer kids. They can't access any of that information at
Yeah.
all.
Yeah,
It's
no,
crazy.
I'm 22, so like I'm definitely disconnected from most of that shit. It's not what I grew up on. I wasn't on Scooter Resource. I don't have these answers, and I'd like to have them. I mean,
it's like, dude, I had like over 10,000 posts on Scooter Resource. Like, I spent so much time on that website. Like, if you got over 10,000 posts on Scooter Resource, you were like,
God.
you were a staple in the community.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
like there were only a few people. Like Aaron Branston definitely was up there. Kenny Owens, you probably don't know who Kenny Owens is.
No.
Parrish was on Scooter Resource when he was like 12. So many people: Brandon Kilberry, fucking Alex Stedman, Brian Boston, Casey Murphy, all these OG people that nobody even really fucking knows anymore were like huge parts of the community back then. And it's like none of these kids are ever gonna know that. Like all these kids that learn how to do a bri flip don't even know why it's called
Brian
a bri
Boston.
flip. Yeah. You ask a kid now, it's like, oh, do you know who invented the bri flip? And they're just like, no, I don't know. It's like, dude, his fucking name is in the name of the trick.
Yeah.
You know? There's just, I don't know. It's just
No,
crazy
it's crazy. I know I can like understand where all your passion's coming from too, because it was so niche when you started, and y'all had to
Yeah,
build a community from scratch. It was like
exactly.
you get
Yeah.
all tight with all these people, and then yeah, now people just get into it and they don't. It's not like that. They don't have to work to like keep this thing together.
It's like the pyramids. We'll never know.
But the only thing different is Scooter Resource is not standing anymore.
Yeah, like there's no way to have like a stake or a real input in the community anymore, other than like
Y'all got to
putting
start doing
putting
history
footage out, you know?
lessons. Like all the
Yeah.
OGs start doing like Zoom calls of like history lessons or something,
Yeah, I
throwing it
mean,
on like
I think
some
that's why I
shit.
think it's good that you guys are doing like long format interviews, because it's like you have the chance to really reconnect the younger generation with the older dudes who have all this knowledge that's just stuck, you know, in their brain. And like I could tell you so much about scootering just because I've had it, I
You saw
remember it, you know.
everything. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
but that's the
Yeah.
only way to access that information now, is talking to the dudes from like my generation.
Mhm.
Yeah.
If
Dude.
if we don't have a voice, you know, if we don't have a way to like, because like I've done like magazine interviews and shit where they ask the same fucking questions over and over. It's like, how did you start scootering? Who are your favorite scooter riders? What are your favorite tricks? Where do you like to ride? And it's like, no, dude, like these are not the questions that should be being
Yeah.
asked. Like there's so
Yeah.
much more that you can convey in like a long format conversation. And I think it's important to do that, especially at this point where
Yeah.
we
We're
don't
trying to
have
get down to the nitty gritty for
yeah,
sure.
Yeah.
like
Any
it's
scooter OGs, we would
Yeah.
love to hear it.
Come
yeah,
fucking
Into
man.
school our
history for
asses,
sure.
please.
Yeah.
Yeah, you
Teach
you
for
should
sure.
definitely try to get some more like older dudes on here that are like passionate enough to talk about their time in the early days of scootering, because you can portray a lot of information that's been lost to the internet to like these younger dudes who follow you guys and stuff.
What was the
Yeah.
first ever Scooter Resource meetup you went to?
Uh we used to take the train to New Jersey a lot and ride with like the dudes that rode at the Incline Club. I don't know if you guys know about the Incline
Oh
Oh
yeah.
Club,
yeah.
Yeah.
but yeah, like
At
we
least old
used to
enough to know
just
that.
yeah. So we used to just like I used to take the train from Long Island into New York City, which took about 40 minutes. And then we would meet up with like all the dudes that lived in the city, like John and Elmer and Sanchez and Brian Murphy. And then we'd go to Penn Station in Manhattan and take the train to New Jersey, which usually took at least an hour, and then push from the train station in New Jersey to whatever New Jersey skate park we were going to meet up with these people at, and just ride all fucking day until it got dark and then take the train back home. And we used to ride with like
Yep.
Stevon Wilson and like Ryan Bello and Vince. I forget what Vince's last name was. And like Brian Boston and fucking Kyle Tolentino and like all these old school Jersey heads. So we used to just do that on the regular. And I don't know. I think I started doing that probably in like 2005, 2006
Mhm.
was probably when I started like going out of state to meet up with people and ride scooters.
Yeah, man, we need
So
that
cool.
sense of community back. I mean, I feel like we do have it, but that's just that
Street
maybe you
jams
can
and
never,
stuff.
yeah, maybe you can never actually get back to that point though. Because
No way. I mean,
it
like,
being,
Nah.
yeah, it's
Never
that it
will.
was so niche and just different. I don't know, it was so small, as you can't replicate that. Like
yeah, I
skateboarding will
mean, and
never
like
be able to go back to something like that. And it's even more apparent for skateboarding. I
Scooter
mean,
Resource used to have like different sections on it where you could talk to people from like your area. So there was like an Arizona chat, there was a California chat, there was an East Coast chat, and like a Midwest chat. So like you could just talk to the people in your area that were posting in these specific area related chats on SR and like make plans to meet up and ride and stuff. And it was so good. And now it's like you can only talk to the people who are available through the fucking algorithm that you're fed on Instagram,
yeah.
Yep.
or like the people that live in your town. Like
It
it's
used
way harder to like branch out and meet new people in person using Instagram as opposed to like how it was on Scooter Resource.
I feel like for me, I was never on Scooter Resource, but even just for Inside back in the day versus Instagram now, like every video that was uploaded, you could see. And that was basically like every video in scootering that had been coming out. And you could have access to that and see like all of scootering. And now in Instagram, as you were saying, it's just like whoever the algorithm feeds to you. So there's going to be like a whole other half that you'll never probably see or hear of, or
Yeah,
Yeah,
you know.
man,
exactly.
nobody sees my fucking clips, dude.
I
Dude,
see
I
him.
posted a clip like, I don't know, last week or like a week and a half ago, and it's the first time one of my clips got like over 1,000 likes in like a couple years. And
Yeah.
it's like, it's
Got fed
crazy.
in.
It's
Got
just
fed
like,
in.
I don't know.
Instagram gave you a little kiss. Yeah,
Yeah.
Instagram fucking sucks now, but it's
it
like
does.
necessary, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's sweet how like it pushes the progression, but it's such a short format that, bro, it's like people's attention spans have just been fucked. So nobody remembers clips they watch on Instagram half the time. But I
Oh
remember
yeah.
all the
I mean,
good
Instagram
videos
has
I've
like
seen.
Yeah.
completely ruined working for a video part.
Yeah.
Literally.
It's like, what's the point of even owning a real fucking camera anymore and putting in like 2 years of work to make a video when people are gonna watch it for a week and then it's just gonna disappear into the fucking ether.
Yeah.
Yeah. Unless it's really fucking good. But it's
Yeah, and
hard to
unless it's
make a
like a
scooter
40
video with
minute
that kind of
video.
impact. Yeah.
That's the way I feel like scootering would actually get an energy drink sponsor and shit like that too. Is like if Jordan Clark or a bunch of these park fools were releasing longer format like YouTube videos to showcase their riding versus like
Yeah.
their Instagram profile link, like in an email or some shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
Just
mean,
shows a
I
lot
don't
more
know.
dedication and
It's
like
hard to
effort.
say like what the future holds for scootering right now, just because like social media has just distorted everybody's expectations and perceptions of like reality. And
Yeah.
like it's so hard to even like exist as like a professional just because like it's all about just like clickbait shit. You know, it's like you're not even really it doesn't even really matter what the fuck tricks you're doing as long as you present it in a way that just grabs people's attention for like 15 fucking seconds, then
I put
it
the slams at the beginning of all my Insta clips for the most part. It's like if I slam during a session, first clip, it's going to be on the cover of the video. I don't know. I'm like, I know people like watching somebody eat shit more than
Reel
they
them
do
in.
tail whips. So that's how I try to hook it. And it's like, look, I fucking do this shit. It's everybody plays this game. Maybe not everybody, but people from this generation. It's that immediate feedback. So it's fucking
yeah,
rough, man.
yeah,
You still
I don't
film.
know.
We still film
We still film. We do. We do sometimes.
once a week.
I've been
Yeah, I
out of
mean,
commission.
think it's important to make videos, you know, but it's just like it's important for like yourself and it's important for the people who like actually give a fuck about what you're doing.
Yeah.
But like to the general population of like any given action sport, like nobody's paying attention to that shit anymore. Unless you're presenting it like Trendkill, you know, where it's like they have like a dedicated blog page with like really good social media that sort of mimics like how Thrasher would do it. You know, they have like
I don't like that,
a week of
honestly.
like promotion and stuff before they put a video out, and it like really hooks people in to go and watch the video.
Yeah.
I have,
No,
I have a lot of criticism for Trendkill, honestly.
I mean, they post good scooter videos,
he's
No
saying in
and
the
doubt.
like
sense of
No doubt.
it's a great platform, but where we get frustrated is I hate seeing clips from good videos before I watch the video. And
it's the
I
same
don't
way
like
that Thrasher
spoilers.
has been doing it for years. Like
We don't
they'll
need to
No,
post
copy
like
it's
it.
a
it's
fucking
the
thumbnail
format.
of the ender
That's so
for
lame
the
to me,
video, and it's
though.
like you just ruined the video for me. But
Exactly. I think what companies need to do, or a new standard for Trendkill, what they could introduce is like you need a promo for the video, and then two days a day, 3 days, whatever later, then you can start posting like clips from the video. But I see how it's like everybody has the short attention span, so they want to hook you with like three of some of the best clips from the video. But I feel like, especially with Trendkill, I'm gonna see the promotion from the week before. I'm gonna be on YouTube and I'm gonna like know and watch that video already. So just to like hop onto Instagram to post or like check something and it always be at the top. I just hate that because then I
It
get sucked
fucks
into
up
like
your
watching the
expectations
slides.
too.
Like,
Sometimes you
yeah.
just see
Olay
the
is the
best.
worst with that though.
Yeah. Yeah, this is
Oh
true.
yeah.
They
Like
clickbait the
Yeah.
hardest.
they'll
Jared, like
post
y'all both got to learn, but
Jared has learned the algorithm though at the same time. Like that dude pulls views. So it's like
it's
this double-edged
effective, but it's
sword.
like exactly.
I just
Exactly.
hate how like a video will drop and they'll just screen grab like half the video and put it in slides like 20 minutes after the video's
Yeah,
out. And it's just like,
exactly. 5 minutes after the video's out, dude. It's
yeah,
crazy.
it's
It's honestly crazy.
you could forget that like a video's coming out and then you just see Olay posting like half the fucking video and you're like, dude, I
Don't
was
want to
looking
watch it.
forward to watching this
Even
and
if
you
it's
just
just
ruined
three
it.
clips, even if it's just three clips,
Exactly.
but it's the
Thank you.
best fucking
Thank
clips
you.
in the video, it sets my expectations too high. It's
Yeah.
like if you pull the best clips in the video while I'm watching this whole thing and it doesn't live up to like those are the best, I think like less of it. I don't know. I was expecting more
Exactly.
and
Yeah.
my expectations get bucket they
Yeah.
never get met when it's like that.
You get the
Yeah.
view, but you get like that mentality that you get, Paxton. I feel you
Yeah.
like it'll get people to watch it because they'll be like, this is so fucked. But I feel like the core will always just watch a video, especially on Trend Kill. So that's my only constructive criticism is like, let's get some better promos. Like, let's wait a little bit to like start leaking clips. Is literally what it is, honestly, in my
Well, that's
opinion.
it all goes back to like the social media effect where like back in the day, like people would film clips, take like B-roll and make a promo and have like photos and shit like
Yeah,
that to promote it before they drop the video. But now it's like people just make the video and
screen grab.
like rush to get it together and put it out and don't have anything to hype it up, you know?
Yeah.
I don't
Yep.
know.
It used to take years to film videos, so like people would take that extra month to like really get the hype for the release date and shit. And now it's like exactly what you're saying. People will go to a street jam on Saturday, the next day the street jam video's out. And I'm like,
Yeah.
how are y'all doing that? Like that's just too much. Like go home, rest for a sec, like edit that shit up. Like
Go tell your family you love them before you start
yeah,
editing this
it's
fucking
like
footage.
it's that Instagram shit where they just need to get it out so they can get those new followers and that like and that instant gratification from like their work and shit. It's like, dude,
Yeah.
chill.
Dude,
Yeah, I don't know.
I one shout out those. I feel like Screech Jam videos typically take a very long time to get put out. And Tom Statman did do the Chicago Jam last year, the night the jam was over, which I liked because I wasn't seeing. I mean, fuck, I was at Chicago, so I saw most of the chicks go down. But from the perspective of like watching a bunch of jam clips and then watching a jam video, that kind of sucks when you know it's coming. But like, bro,
Yeah.
putting in overnight hours after an entire street jam. Homie left the jam and edited for like probably 6, 7 hours
Dude,
and dropped it in the morning. That's
it's
fucking
just
amazing.
foul, dude. Like
That's dedication right there.
Bro,
that's crazy.
I respect it. I respect it. That's a man of the people. Well, shit. Number 7, hop back into Phil's. Is if you were to go on a trip, who would you bring and where would you go? You can bring 3 people.
Ooh, okay.
Tres amigos.
3 people. Logan Fuller, definitely.
Oh yeah. Can he bring the dog?
Yeah, fuck yeah.
Dog
Keaton,
treats.
Logan, Keaton, and Cooper,
Hell yeah.
Solid
That'd be
squad.
such
probably.
a sick video.
Yeah.
Where are you going?
And then Australia,
Fuck yeah.
just
Hell
because I've
yeah.
always wanted to go there. Or maybe Japan. Australia or Japan.
Oh, Japan, a video in Japan would be so fucking cool. Dude, that city looks beautiful. I have to go there at some point. I don't know if it looks like New York on steroids. It's like if they
Yeah,
have any,
Tokyo, yeah,
yeah,
Tokyo's
it's
crazy.
crazy.
yeah. I
You
wonder if
can't
there'd even be
ride during the
spots.
day though, because there's so
Yeah,
many people. Like you can only ride at night.
Really?
I feel like that makes it look
Yeah,
even
there's
cooler
dude,
though with the
so many
neon
fucking
lights.
people live in Tokyo.
No street sash.
Yeah, I mean, seeing just
Yeah.
an aerial view of that city, it's like no chance. Yeah, no chance you're
Really?
pushing through the streets. Yes,
I gotta
it's
look at
fucking
that.
insane.
That's crazy. I
Makes
didn't
no
even know that.
sense.
The
Oh,
push zone.
yeah.
But yeah, those are my three, and those are my locations for sure.
All right,
That's so cool.
good answer. Good answer. Number 8 is favorite person to party with.
Favorite person to party with? Hmm. Probably Andrew.
Hell yeah.
Andrew?
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Dude, you can't
Uh,
have a fucking handlebar mustache and not get
just
rowdy as
be
shit.
down.
I don't know. Does he
I
does he
mean,
get drunk and talk about kazoos and machining?
nah, the thing about Andrew is like he's pretty like he seems very like a straightforward guy, but like if you go anywhere with Andrew, he's like 100% down to get into trouble and just say yes to anything.
Bro, he
And
literally he
like
has the
every
most
time I've ever
mischievous
gone
stash in
anywhere with
scootering.
Andrew, it's been like a fucking crazy experience.
I've been on
Did
one
y'all get
trip
into
with them.
anything in coalition?
It coalition was a little bit different, but like
Okay.
I mean, I've known Andrew for a real long time, and we've been on some crazy trips. So I would
Hell
say
yeah.
Andrew for sure.
All right.
Hell yeah.
What's your favorite moment in scootering?
Like personal moment or
Yeah.
just in
Just
scootering as a whole.
you could do both. You could start with personal though.
Uh, the Paris street tram trip in 2013, probably
Damn,
Hell yeah.
yeah.
for a personal moment, just because that trip was insane.
Was that
That
your first
sounds
time
And
going out of the country to ride?
yeah, that was my first trip to Europe,
Wow.
and it was crazy. We were there for like 10 days, and or I was there for like 10 days with just like so many friends, dude, from like all over the world, and it was just total anarchy. Like I was there for 10 days, and I paid for the train once and took the train every single day. Uh we got so shit faced like every single day, and like would just push all over Paris and like not even really know where the fuck we were going. There was one night where like we closed out this bar and just kept drinking at this park across the street, and like some random ass Frenchies just like walked up to the park and was like, "Oh, what are you guys doing?" And we're like, "Yeah, we were drinking at this bar, but like they closed and we just bought some beer and we were just drinking here." And then they're like, "Oh, we got a bunch of fucking booze at our house. We'll bring it." And we were just like, "All right, fuck yeah." And so we just stayed in this park drinking and like sketching cars and like nose blunt dropping off of everything in sight till like 5 in the morning, and the cops showed up, and we were like smashing bottles and just like scaring pedestrians and all just so much crazy shit, dude. And the cops showed up, and we're like, "Oh, we're fucked, dude. We're so fucked." And they were like, "You guys got to get the fuck out of here now, or you're all going to jail." And we were just like, "You're gonna let us leave?" And they're like, "Yeah, get out of here." And we just
Yep.
scrammed ASAP, dude. And
Scram.
it was just a whole trip of shit like that, and it was insane.
Oh, that sounds awesome.
My favorite moment in scootering as a whole would probably be, I don't know. I can't think about that. I'm gonna
Yeah.
stick with the Paris
Paris is
2013 trip.
chill.
All right. Tearing it up until 6 in the morning. Dude, I think my favorite thing I've heard, one of my friends, Ryan, he says it all the time. He like ran Valley for a little bit. I'm sure like Valley exclusive. Logan was
Shout
on it
Oh
out
for a little
yeah,
bit.
yeah.
Terps.
Yeah. Shout out Terps. But he would always say, um, a lot of scootering is about not scootering. He was like, the most important thing about scootering is the times that you aren't riding.
That's a
And that's
Tyler
your
Whelan quote that he stole.
there you go. Now I have my source. But it's so true. It's like moments like that where it's like you came somewhere for riding, but I don't know. It's just these
Yeah.
random fucking moments that get placed into your life because of it. It's like y'all aren't really, you're not riding, but it's from scootering.
Yeah.
100%.
I believe the actual quote is sometimes scootering involves not scootering.
Yeah. I've heard
That is the
one
actual
for sure.
quote. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now I know Tyler Wheeland. Shout out. That's a money quote.
Shout out. Duct tape dick fuck.
All right. Who influenced you as a rider? Is number 10. I feel like it's a tough one for you.
Is this like how many people do I get to pick?
As many as you
Shit,
want.
yeah.
You could pick
Pop 'em off.
rollerbladers,
Shout out all
bikers,
the homies.
skateboarders.
All right, I'm gonna pick 5.
Hell yeah.
Andrew Reynolds, Jim Greco. Let's pick somebody from BMX. Mike Aiken.
Hell yeah.
Who else? I don't really have too many rollerblade influences.
That's okay. We'll never be able to hit their rails. So
I mean, I don't know, man. People are getting pretty close.
we're getting close. We are getting close, actually.
Doing some dumb 50s.
Yeah. I don't know. Do you see
Dumb
Timo's
long
video?
50s.
To go
Reynolds,
off topic.
Greco, Mike Aiken, Matt McKean, Josh Toy, Casey Corning, Ricky Wernicke.
Fuck yeah.
All
Martin
right.
Kimball,
Hell
another
yeah.
scooter
Okay.
influence.
Hell yeah.
That's
Used to do a bunch of
probably my
videos.
list.
Oh yeah. Solid. Oh shit. What I was about to say though is rollerblading rails on scooters. I don't know if you saw Timo's recent part for AO.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah, it was
like-
fucking crazy.
270
Insane.
lip was crazy. His ender was pretty dope too. I wish there was like a second angle
That's
to
exactly
get
what
the
I
roll
thought.
away,
I
but
was like, man, I can't see him go anywhere. I'm
you
bummed.
could see the whip out.
You could see it. You could see it because it was
It's a
such a good
mysterious
rail.
roll away.
Exactly. It was such a good rail. Fuck. Reminds that. Have you seen that rollerblade clip of the dude hitting the stair set rail that wraps around the
Yeah.
corner? Yeah.
Yeah, dude. I mean, rollerblading has always just been like next level with rail riding.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like snowboarding.
Dude, snowboarding has gotten fucking insane in the past like 5 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Oh yeah.
fucking insane. Like just the caliber of spots that these dudes are hitting.
Dude, they can hit
And build it.
anything. Yeah, it's like if you could
You
build a
dream it.
kicker on any spot, that opens a lot of doors.
Even just like dude, I've seen clips of people just gapping like 30 stairs into a rail.
Yeah.
That's another fucking 30 stairs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like
Strapped
holy
in.
fuck,
Yeah.
dude.
Doing 2-7 lips into it and shit.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
like two sev in, 2-7 out the other way. It's like fucking insane, dude.
Yeah. Yeah. I think if I grew up around snow, I would have scootered a lot less. Like that would have pulled me.
I can't snowboard. I don't like being strapped in. That shit is just like too much for me.
Makes you commit.
It breeds a beast though. Yeah. Like
Yeah,
you're gonna land it.
Brian Murphy was always a snowboarder, and he would always do like the craziest shit when we were kids.
Exactly.
It's a different mentality.
He's like,
Yeah.
send it.
Yeah, he was just fucking just rip it into everything, like box jumps and shit. Just that snowboard shit.
Oh yeah, his feet can't move. You can't take them off. Bro, I love all limbs on scooter. That philosophy. It's like no matter where you're at, just if you can land with everything on it, it typically works better. It typically like I get less hurt landing sideways than if I was like to bail because I'm a little off. Yeah. I will always dehub a wheel over fucking rolling my ankle or some shit.
Yeah.
True. Very true. Fuck the scooter.
Dude, great answers on Phil's. Glad we got through that.
Yeah.
Honestly, it is 9 questions. I think I did. There's one really bad question that we never asked. That's in the 10.
Let me get
Top
it. Fuck
9.
it.
You can have it. Yeah, I'm gonna toss it to you.
Mike will love it.
Mike will love it. So when you're just standing there, do you throw bar spins?
Hell yeah.
Yeah,
Dude, it's
I think everybody
subconscious.
does. Exactly.
That's how you
Yeah.
learn how to bar spin.
Yeah, you
Totally.
just stand there and you just throw that. You put it over a quarter pipe and just throw that shit. I don't know, I would
I
put it on
mean,
coping.
I don't do that. Like I'll do that like if I'm gonna drop in. I'll just like throw
Yeah.
one and drop in, but like I won't stand there and just do like 40 bar spins.
I mean, shit, when I was 14, I was definitely sitting on coping, just triple bar, double bar, quad bar.
Yeah, with their bars.
Yeah, yeah. That's a good way to
Yeah,
ride
but
a spine. I don't know.
I mean if you do it like in the middle of a lip slide, then hell yeah.
Yeah, that's
But if
sick.
you're
Yeah.
just sitting
Mid
there like
spine.
This is before I unlocked lip slides. This is and then some skateboarder, I think, hit me while I was posted up on the coping. I was like, oh, okay, never again.
I think if you ever ask anybody that question and they say no, they're fucking lying to you.
They're
Exactly.
fed.
That's why we
Yeah,
typically
they're
throw it away, is we're like, we know the answer to this.
Yeah.
yeah. That's just it's like a subconscious tick for scooter
Absolutely.
riders. It's just like throw a bar spin.
Yeah, every scooter rider has a little Tourette in them. They all have that one tick.
That bug.
It's like the thing with like Andrew Reynolds where like every time he's about to roll into something, he'll just like tap his board on the ground 3 times. It's like that kind of shit.
Yeah, yeah.
It's just like a subconscious thing that you just do and it just makes sense.
That's whenever you're trying a trick that you're really scared of, it's like I wonder how many bar spins you do, like more. How many bar spins do you do before you actually try this thing? I feel
I
like the
do like
number
one.
goes
I
up.
do one. I usually do one before I roll up at anything. Like if I'm filming, I'll just like throw a bar spin and be like, okay, now I'm ready.
Yeah. If I'm really fucking scared, though,
go
it's at
time.
least 5 or 6 in between every attempt. I'm like, oh, shit.
It's usually just one for me, but I think I kind of do it as like a nod to like the filmer that I'm like gonna go.
Yeah.
Just like mentally preparing myself, and then just like look at the filmer and like throw a bar and then go. You know.
I always just
Okay.
spin it with my
Yeah.
hat or something.
Yeah, you do play with the hat a lot. I know. I remember on your ender, it was just a lot of this. Take it off, put it back on.
Yeah, I mean I do that shit too, but the bar spin is
It's the
yeah.
staple. Yeah.
It's just I feel like it's a very scooter exclusive thing.
Yeah, there's no bikers
Maybe
doing that.
it's too much. The bars are too big to do that.
Yeah, sitting there doing whips.
Yeah.
It's so funny to see like BMXers. At
Yeah,
House Park.
BMX are doing motions.
It's like before they
Nonchalantly
drop.
doing motions.
Fucking Bry flipping a bike
Yeah.
standing on the ground.
He's like acting like he's gonna flare.
Man, I'm trying to see a whip front bike. I wonder if that's ever been done.
Whip front bike flip.
Yeah,
He's
whip
so
front bike flip, bro. Oh my God.
Ryan,
Give it a couple years.
we know you're listening.
We hope you're listening.
Probably not.
Whip
Probably.
front bike. No, definitely
Most
not.
likely, absolutely isn't
Nah,
watching.
but it's so funny. That's the irony in it.
I beat him in flat scoot once, like a real long time ago.
No
Really?
way.
Yeah, probably like
Um,
2000.
Yeah, man. Say that with your chest. That's fucking,
Yeah.
not a lot of people get to say that.
It was probably like 2008 or 9, maybe. Like it was like one of the first like Mad Gear trips to the US, like when Cody was still on and shit, and like Adam Bolton and like all those dudes came. I think it was probably like an SD comp trip, and yeah, I played Scoot with like a bunch of people flat at this place called Real Ride Compound. If you
Okay.
guys know that place.
No,
It was like this wooden outdoor park that was like covered in California.
Yeah.
And yeah, we just played like a big game of flat scoot, and like I mean he was pretty young at the time, and like so was
Doesn't matter.
Adam Bolton and shit.
Still beat
so yeah, but I lost the
Dubbed his
game, but
ass.
I beat him. So
Was this
You know,
it's all
one-on-one
that
game,
matters.
or there was other people
no,
getting
it
letters
was
on
like
them? It was a team effort.
it was
Yeah.
probably like 4 or 5 people playing.
ganged
Yeah.
up on him.
But it wasn't like us versus him. Like he wasn't like who he is now then.
hmm
It was like everybody was like
Yeah.
way younger and still riding just like super tiny scooters. And like this is like when the Mad Gear One Piece deck was like 4.8 inches wide. It was like that
Sick.
era.
Yeah.
So it was like way older. It wasn't like recent, you know.
Tank
But
tops and
yeah,
foot jams.
I still remember that shit. I fucking beat him in flat scoot.
I remember it too. But I feel like even nowadays, though, does Ryan really? He's not a flat rider. I feel
No,
like
I mean
his
I don't.
flat game isn't probably that good. There's probably a
Yeah,
14
probably
year
not.
old that could whoop his ass at this point. Like that's got a triple heel or some shit.
He was probably
Ooh.
like 13 or 14 at that point. So, I mean, 13, 14-year-old ramp rider playing flat scoot against a New York City street rider, you know, it's not really going to go very
Yeah,
well
Yeah.
your
you're
way.
doing switch whips.
Yeah, and like three whips flat and shit like that when I could still do that.
Oh fuck yeah, I'd take that to the grave.
Oh,
It
I
doesn't
will.
matter. It doesn't matter
Yeah.
what age he is.
Put it on the tombstone.
Here lies a man who beat Ryan Williams in a flat scoot. His name, never mind that. Just know.
Doesn't matter.
That's so sick. I want to ask about the Philly files as my last thing as well. If you like have any stuff or stories you want to talk about, or just like the process of that
Oh,
as
dude,
well.
that was a crazy fucking year, man, when we lived there. I mean, there were, yeah, I mean,
It's just a year.
yeah, we were there for a year. We were only in Philly for a year when we put that video together. I mean, we never really like had a real like vision for what it was gonna be, because this was at a time where like filming was just like the norm. Like you would just go
Yeah.
out with a camera and you would push, and whatever you could film, you would film. And so yeah, I mean, we just spent that whole year just pushing around Philadelphia and filming, and like so much crazy shit happened. Like Logan almost got robbed at knife point multiple times. Like we were driving one time through like the shitty part of Philly, and like we seen some dude get fucking shot in the head.
Oh my God.
Basically, like we heard it, and then like everybody was just running down the block, and just stuck our head out the window, like, yo, what the fuck happened? And, yo, man's got shot in the fucking head, yo, get the fuck out of here, get the fuck out of here. And shit like that. Like we've seen dudes like shoot up heroin on church steps in Kensington and shit like that. Midday, like 3 o'clock in the afternoon. We almost got
Damn.
fucking beat up by this one dude for riding in this park because we were like sessioning this basketball court, and there are like these benches that are like that plastic wood shit. And we're
Mhm.
like trying to film a clip there, and this dude just comes in like, "Get the fuck out of here! This ain't your fucking neighborhood, bro. What the fuck are you doing here? You fucking up our benches and shit." And like, just so
Damn.
much crazy shit, man. Like,
Damn, that's good
there's
B
this.
roll.
Yeah.
We didn't film it, dude. We were just like, all right, dude, we're gonna get the fuck out of here. Chill out. Like, we're leaving. We're leaving. You know,
Yeah.
like there's this area in North Philly called the Badlands, and this one time, me and Logan just like left the house and just pushed there because like McKean was like pissed off about something. So we're like, all right, let's get the fuck out of here, dude. And we just pushed north, just pushed like all the way as far north as we could just to see what was up there because we hadn't really explored there yet. So we get into like the Badlands, which is what this area was known as, and like this is midday, like 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Like people are like, we're just pushing through the streets, you know, nice sunny day, middle of the week, whatever. People are like yelling at us, like, y'all shouldn't fucking be here. Y'all better get out of here. You better be careful around here and shit like that. So Philly was just crazy, man.
Damn.
Just so crazy. It was
Yeah.
just it was
Jesus.
awesome though, because like I
Yeah,
mean
it's exciting.
Philly, yeah, like Philly
Like,
was sick because like I had a lot of friends that lived in Philly, like in the music scene and shit. So like when I wasn't scootering, like I was just going to shows all the fucking time and like painting graffiti and shit. And so Philly was sick, dude. And like we were working for Dissidents at the time, but it was like the most fucking haphazard job ever. Like these dudes like never paid UPS or anything for like their shipping invoices, and like we just had this big empty warehouse with like some pallets of ethic stuff and like some ghetto DIY ramps and shit. and that was like our job, and it was like, it was just ridiculous that that even happened. And we
Did y'all get
managed to,
paid? Even though they
yeah,
were having all these like
we,
distribution
me and
things.
Logan split like $600 a month or something like that, and McKean got his own paycheck. So we were just, but our rent was like stupid cheap because we were just living in North Philly, and it was just like we had Logan's homie Caleb living with us too. So I think our whole house was like $1,400 a month. So split between four people, it was like $300 a month or something like that. Which, God, man, I wish I could.
Jeez.
I wish I could still pay that little fucking
I was
money
about
in
to say
rent.
when
It'd
you
be
said when
so
you said
nice,
600 split between the two of y'all, I was like, how the fuck are you
dude.
how the fuck are you living?
I literally lived on pizza and bagels with cream cheese that whole year, and like occasionally we get like a cheesesteak, and like there was this one dude who he was like this Albanian immigrant who ran a pizza shop in our neighborhood, and like we would he would just call us and be like, I have a delivery. Will you deliver it? And like we didn't actually work for him, but he would just call us and then we would get the tips from the pizza deliveries. His name was Yahtzee, and he worked at this place called Momentos Pizza. So he would call like any one of us that were living in that house and be like, I got a delivery. Like, can you do it? And we'd be like, nah, man, I'm not fucking doing it. And then you would call the next person and be like, I got a delivery. Can you do it? And be like, or like, are you home right now?
Um,
Are you home right now? And be like, yeah, why? Like, I have a delivery. Come bring it. You keep the tips. I'll give you free pizza. So we would just
that's
live off
dude.
free pizza from that guy and like
So dope.
tips. And it was, dude, it was fucking, that
That's
whole year
fucking
was
awesome.
insane.
That's a good
It was
way to avoid the
insane.
IRS is just get a bunch of broke scooter riders to deliver pizza for you. Like I don't got to pay
Yeah.
these guys, just whatever money they get, they keep. Give them free
And
food.
free pizza, dude. It
Yeah.
was like, it was a wrap. Like Philly was
Uh,
sick. It was sick,
That's a
dude.
come up.
oh, that sounds like
That's
a
awesome.
great
Yeah.
time.
Yeah, it was wild, man. And like two times, I think, like JD and Balthazar and Poppy, Roots Boy, and like a bunch of people came out to ride, and like Johan Grunwald and who else came to the house? I'm trying to remember. Hugo Svar.
Ooh,
Um, yeah, like they Dissidents just like flew these dudes out to like make videos and stuff, and Poppy would film. And like one time, I don't even remember how, but like we got a fucking limo and just bought like a huge handle of like Jack Daniels and just like drove around Philly in a limo, getting drunk on Jack Daniels and getting out and riding spots like in a fucking limo, dude. It was ridiculous. Like I don't even know how that
oh
even was
man,
real looking back on it.
how the fuck did y'all afford a limo?
We didn't. So I don't even know who
The tip
bought it.
money
It was
added
like
up.
Dissidents or like,
And then buying the
yeah,
bottle of
dude, it was
Jack as the
crazy.
cherry on top.
I
You're like,
honestly couldn't tell you how that year actually happened. Like,
oh my God. Yeah, it sounds like y'all just doing whatever the fuck worked. You didn't have any
dude,
plan, no money.
yeah,
Just like, all right, whatever sticks. It's like,
it was crazy. It was like a fairy tale.
it sounds
That's
like
so
one.
sick.
With,
Pipe fever dream.
yeah, fairy tale with crackheads and shootings around your neighborhood.
Yeah, pretty much. Like
Beautiful
it's
fairy
like
tale.
a
Hood
Adult
fairy tale.
Swim fairy tale.
Less about a hood fairy. Yeah. What a pleasure talking to you,
Yeah.
man. I can love
Yeah,
picking the brain
truly.
of someone who like actually grew up doing this shit. You have so much perspective. It's awesome.
Thanks, man. Thanks for having me on.
Of
It
course.
was nice chatting about the old days.
Hell yeah. I'm glad, dude. It was definitely cool to hear about it and gain some knowledge, and we'll be able to go listen to some new ska, some African music,
Oh yeah.
listen,
I'll be
watch some
bumping it
OG
tomorrow.
edits. Yeah. Hell yeah,
Yeah,
dude.
man.
Hell yeah.
Um,
Episode
but
23,
if you made it this far,
26, something.
10-4. Yes, episode something.
They'll go to.